every Thursday. The scene is set in the realm of thoughts where minds are met. They're the thinkers with brains on the brink. Every Thursday they're doing a thing with that dark kitty as the fearless lead. And fox through by her side they plant the seed with Dorkus guiding through dungeons deep. And Grey Coupe spreads it on steep. Emo's crush goes like magic in the air. To press Hydra's expertise beyond compare. Charles manages the box office with grace, while other guests add to the lively space. In a world of thoughts where minds collide, the thinkers gather their wits as their guide. From deep contemplation to laughter's embrace, every Thursday is their special place.
Woo! Welcome.
Happy Thursday.
Happy Thursday.
Well, I don't know why. We said it in a funny voice, therefore it is entertaining. Haha.
Yes. Dance, monkey, dance.
That's what. Are you entertained? Are you not entertained, Wallace?
Are you not entertained?
I'm not entertained.
Gladiator 2 is out.
That's the only way you can say that.
And people aren't entertained.
No, I was in the middle of being happy, Dorkus. Why did you have to say something so mean?
I'm so sorry.
I mean, that's the meme for that movie so far, as I've heard. That the people are not entertained by that movie.
Okay, you people in the movie industry and in the game industry too need to learn when to let a story and a franchise rest. Okay, there is such a thing as a complete ending, where all of the lines, the stories, the little notes, the character developments are all neatly tied up in a beautiful ending scene, and you don't need to continue. And I'm not just talking about
amazing sequel
movies.
That was out there. It was going to bring back Russell Crowe. It was called Christ Killer. It took place where Russell Crowe's Maximus character was in purgatory, and then he was sent back to Earth to go ahead and kill Jesus. It was an awesome script. They should have made that one, but instead we got this other thing.
We should make it, guys. We can do it.
We can do it, totally.
Just get us a hold of the script and we will do it.
Charles
I will be
Maximus.
Gladiator starring Kitty.
That's what I was like. I'm Maximus.
No, she will be the lion in the arena.
I think I have a prompt.
I get to be a cat. Yeah.
I have a prompt now for our next Thinker's script read.
Well, that is what we will have. Oh gosh, I have plans for the end of the year. We'll discuss backstage. But anyway, how's everybody? Hydra was being happy. None of that, Hydra.
Until Dorkus ruined it. Yes, reminded me of horrible things that just happened. Yes.
I do not want to take part in it. You're gonna go and see it, Bima?
Yeah, I'll go see it.
For the meme?
I've heard it's bad, and bad movies can sometimes be fun to watch.
Like,
you are holding out hope that it's the entertaining kind of bad.
Yes, if it's not the entertaining kind of bad, that's gonna suck. But that's why I'm going to go with like 4 people. So
yeah, that's the thing. You're going for fun with your friends. It's not actually so much that the film itself is the reason you're going. It's that you're going with people to a thing.
My local theater is like a live commentary area, so it can be funnier than the movies that we're watching. So
I would love that.
But keep in mind, this isn't exactly like Madam Web or anything like that. It's just kind of like an okay movie.
That's lame.
If you've seen the first one, you've basically seen the second one. There's a lot of the beats that are exactly the same.
Oh, okay.
Okay, hold on.
I've heard it compared to The Force Awakens.
Very similar, yeah. Where it's like, hey, these are like events, but they're not done.
Remember this?
Yeah.
Remember that?
Remember
but this chronologically takes place after Commodus, correct?
Yeah, so it's like 20 something years later. So about 24, like it is in reality.
Okay.
Lucy, I thought you said you went to see Gladiator 2. I was like, tell us! And then no, sorry. Also, hello.
Hold on.
How many times is that lady going to change her profile picture in 1 month?
Every month. Every week, every day, look like that, constantly. Okay. I mean, yeah,
it's according to her mood. Okay, when she is like feeling all spicy, she'll do something like that, and other times she'll be like the sugar plum fairy and whatever. I'm here for it. I enjoy
Listen,
that.
with
Do
a
it.
face like that, there is no wrong angle to take a
Right?
picture. If I
Right.
had looks like that, I would be
Mhm.
constantly posting my pictures wildly in all sorts of different
It's
places.
confirmed.
so-
Hydra looks like Lucy. Just hiding it
Yes.
from us.
Actually, Hydra.
Only one of my faces looks like Lucy. Yeah.
Oh, one of the face. Look, I'm just putting your messages up so we can look at your face.
Man.
Ma'am. Anyway, anything else anyone wants to go through before we
I
get
was
to
about to
today's
say
topic?
something important, but then the whole face conversation distracted me.
I know it is quite a distracting face.
Yes, very much so, especially when it's constantly popping up in the left corner. Yes.
You're a married woman, Kitty.
Oh yeah, that made me remember. God damn it! And next thing I forget is the name of the actor. Did Mr. Gladiator get in shape for the sequel?
Mr.
Pedro
Gladiator.
Pascal.
Yeah.
It's always Pedro Pascal.
No, I think you meant Russell Crowe. He is only in it in flashbacks. They're only using like scenes from the first one because
Or they
didn't make it out of the
de-age
first one.
him or whatever. Is it CGI?
They
or
did
is it
not bring
properly-
Russell Crowe back at all. Russell Crowe and Ridley Scott do not get along. So there was it goes back to like the filming of the first one where Russell Crowe kicked Ridley Scott out of his villa. But yeah, good times.
Wow. Okay.
I was just asking because, well, loads of things, but one interesting thing is that
They're warriors.
of all people, my mother actually let me know about this one, and because she heard about it somehow or something, Gladiator 2, and she sent me an interview being done with Mr. Actor Sir, who played the Gladiator, and her first reaction to the footage was like, "Man, he got so fat," and I was like, "God damn it, Mom!" That's the immediately like looking upon the guy. That's the first comment, and of course I asked her like, "Mom, why is this the first thing that comes to mind, or really what happened?" And she was like, "Did you know that when I was a little girl, I had a huge crush on this actor. He is so fat now.
Ever
It's
since
horrible."
Romper Stomper.
Yeah, I guess
yeah.
that's it. No, you get like, oh, if he's old, that means I'm old.
Yeah, but I mean, like, he had his success, you know. Now he's gone on to different things. Now he's like the grandpa role, which is
Yeah,
great.
the happy ending.
He's the priest. He's in
But
many
there's only
things. Yeah.
true. There's only a couple of actors who come back to this, and they kept it tight. So, you know, good for them.
I think Derek Jacobi is back. Yeah.
Still toit. Mm-hmm.
Let me look at how toit these people are. Hold on.
Okay.
Oh
so
my
look,
gosh.
I
The Overton window is how
not-
toit they are.
Uh-huh. Yeah, over time.
Richard Harris's performance was absolutely incredible
So good.
in the Gladiator movie, but I really want to see a depiction of Marcus Aurelius less as a philosopher and more as a very, very stern administrator.
Oh yes, please give me that. Yes.
Like
Yeah,
like
you're definitely not going to get that from Ridley Scott. He's not about the whole like historical accuracy thing. But yeah.
But because the way I imagine Marcus Aurelius is this guy who, like, why would he ever praise you? You're doing what you are supposed to do, and if you couldn't do it, well, you couldn't do it. No use complaining about it. Do it again, but better.
Dang.
Type of a guy, rather than this
He would hate
what
Gen
we
Z.
think a philosopher is like type. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So you don't feel like it's a accurate.
Oh, not at all. Commodus does not kill Marcus Aurelius in real life.
No,
It's
I'm saying in the
idea of
active.
Desmond.
The actress.
Oh.
Sorry, the character. Sorry, the character. Oh,
Yeah. No,
sorry, but
I think-
they're so cheap with the soil.
I think a lot of people
Liberties were
have an
taken.
ideal. I'm sure. I think a lot of people have an idealized version of Marcus
Why
Aurelius in their mind based off
not?
of his very private journal.
that he would be
And-
horrified to find out that everyone is reading casually all the time 1,000 years later, containing
think
his most
Gordon even
private
has it.
thoughts. Yeah.
Right. So a lot of people read the book and think, this guy knows what's up. I would love to be friends with this guy. And I'm like, would you really, though? Would you really?
Yeah, he's one of those historical figures that people idolize as like, oh, the great man that's out there like changing the world. And to the extent he was that, but that's exactly why Commodus turned out to be the little cunt that he was. Because
Yeah,
these
he's a
great
great ruler.
fathers who do a constant shit and are constantly out there have zero time to do parenting. And then you have the
Well-
fucking shithead who should have died as soon as he was born, actually becoming emperor, for fuck's sake.
I mean, do you want a good emperor or a good father? You got to focus on
You
one
have the
area.
system of adoption right there. Just solidify the system of adoption so you don't always have a succession crisis every fucking time. Rome was doing well. They did a fucking Rome moment and decided to kill each other for no reason again. God damn it.
Look, Marcus Aurelius's wife.
Mhm.
Didn't she sleep with someone in Egypt and convinced him the governor, I think, to rebel against Marcus? No, because she
No,
thought
that
Marcus
wasn't-
Aurelius was
no.
dead at the time.
No. That was, well, first of all, very stoic couple. Despite this, they had 13 children. So take off that of what you will.
Jeez.
Stoic duty,
Yeah, but
you
not-
know. Rejecting
survive.
emotions and the pleasures of the flesh.
Totally.
Let's say
totally
they had a hobby, and it
Mm.
was having children.
Having children, yes.
I
But
wouldn't
yeah,
mind that hobby.
To the earlier point,
They
the
consummated
reason,
the marriage multiple times.
yes, and
Are you sure we're
there
together?
were, Dorkus, you're correct that
Numerous.
there were people saying that there were rumors of like, oh, infidelity or something, but I believe
Okay.
that there was no proof and Marcus just didn't give a fuck. And yeah, the one more thing, the reason why Marcus turned out so well is because he had an extra long tutoring session, basically, compared to most other heirs. And he was also tutored by an extremely talented and nice person. And
Oh, I
When
thought
you
were
don't have
referring
any
to
of
the
that-
tutoring that his wife gave him. That's why they
Nice.
have 13 children.
Mm.
Sorry.
Lucy, I like Spartacus.
I haven't actually watched it. I don't think I've watched it.
I have also watched
I haven't
Spartacus.
watched consciously. Yeah. If I go and have like member berries from it, then I'll.
is that the one where Caesar gets raped?
What?
No.
Thank
Man,
God.
just-
if we weren't demonetized already.
I distinctly remember that.
I went
It's
to
a-
15 minutes in. I think we're good.
I showed you a scene at the end of Spartacus where he gets slapped in the face by
so that will work. Yeah.
oh god, who was the third guy in the triumvirate that wasn't Pompey? Why am I
Crassus, the rich
Crassus.
guy, yeah.
Yeah, because it looks so close to how I imagine Kelsier being slapped by the Lord Ruler.
Yeah, that's the you did. Oh,
what?
I want to be reminded. I'm not going to watch that again
Wham!
because I'm going to think about Kelsey. Oh, no, I don't want.
That's the type of slap that you put flour on your hand to like make the impact look like even stronger. You know what I'm talking about? Old Chinese
Bam!
movies used to do
Particle
this.
effects. Here you are.
Exactly.
Okay. Well, yeah, Rome think next week. I'm not going to be involved in that. Hydra and Dorkus can talk about it and give us a whole.
We will
Like-
take over the entire thing, yes.
I do want to say, actually,
Sorry.
on the same subject, that so we brought up Spartacus. That is a very interesting movie that actually ties really closely into the Overton window.
Ah!
Because that movie now today is not seen the same as it was when it came out. That movie was created by someone that was an open communist. That really today is not seen as a communist.
Okay. Not seen as a communist. What would they be seen as now?
Socialist.
Okay. They're similar to me. But let's get into that. Keep that as an example because we are going to go into examples.
Yeah, I'm
So-
Googling to make sure I'm correct here. So go ahead.
See,
Okay,
it
so it all is on purpose, right, Dorkus? It was all on purpose. It all works.
Yep. We were
So
building to this moment.
What we've got to, just so everybody knows what we've got to get through, so that we can. I can't believe we ran out of time with the food thing. Okay, we actually, like, it was a lot. Okay, so maybe we'll finish early with this one. Who knows? So what we're going to talk about, here's the structure of our lecture today, because we're not lecturing. Well, we're not lecturing, but let's pretend it is. Okay.
Structure.
What is the Overton window? We will discuss this. Don't answer yet. Okay. Then we're going to talk about practical examples of that concepts, and I've got a fun example that we're going to use: pizza. And then determining the Overton window. We'll talk about how that is determined. Like how do we measure that? I don't have the answers to. I've got the answers for the one thing over there, and the rest is how would we do it? Okay, because thinkers.
The windows are.
Then we talk about misreading the Overton window, which is very topical, I would say, considering the going theory for a lot of conservatives for the loss of the Democrats is that they misread what is acceptable to the in-between voters. But we'll get to that. Then we're going to talk a bit more practical examples from current events. There's a lot more we can do with the Overton window examples-wise, and then we can examine them according to what the actual Overton window is supposed to be. I will give you a left versus right meme to discuss. But also, we could try and apply it once we have learned about it. We will try to apply it to other things like gaming, for instance. So, because when I was looking for research topic for researching the topic, I was actually looking for actual scholarly articles, and a lot of them have the Overton window in it, but they use the Overton window in a speciality. So I even found biology papers that spoke about an Overton window, what is acceptable in a biological policy thing. So yeah, that's what I got. And then as another fun example of practical skills is here, we're going to talk about what's the Overton window in our Discord. What should we, because we're policy makers.
That one's really easy.
The Discord. It's whatever you want.
So yeah.
Right. Any questions? Right. Any objections? Anything you want to add to the structure? In which case
I think I'm fine with that.
Manipulation of the Overton window.
Oh, manipulation. Okay. Well, yeah. Determining the Overton window. I suppose we could say moving the Overton window. We'll put that over determining.
Yeah, and I would like to add a quick comment before about the whole. Was this the reason why the election went the way it did? I personally disagree. I think that's missing the point. I think the main difference was made by a good campaign versus a bad campaign.
Yeah,
and just promising to end certain problems or issues even with no clear plan versus just not talking about them or touching them entirely, because people will prefer the guy who says I will fix them even if he doesn't say exactly how, opposed to someone who doesn't even talk about them. So I think it's much simpler than the Overton window, but that's just a quick comment from my part.
Yeah, no, we'll put that under this heading when we talk about that. That's what we'll do.
Okay, good.
Would it be worth discussing the difference between the Overton window shifting and just shifts in trends?
Well, that does go into what the actual Overton window is.
Yeah, because a lot of things that manipulate the Overton window also shift trends, so it might be difficult to distinguish sometimes.
Oopsie, don't know what's happening with my window.
I mean, colloquially, the term Overton window, as we talked about, is like it's used in a cultural sense a lot of the time, not just political.
Yeah, but to get to that. So we are on the section, what is the Overton window?
What,
And
the Overton window?
we think about the Overton window as like what is acceptable, right? Where people are at. That's how I've learned about it. Is I've never read about it. And I did social psychology. I don't think there was, and I think I was.
This is such an old meme.
Yeah, and just a quick addition. It's not this simple because the guy on the right also ran a bit to the further, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
So, I disagree. I think the guy on the right moved a little bit closer to the center.
Yeah, some of them have, some of them haven't.
It's well, perhaps it wouldn't be a good meme if the whole thing was, longer and with more guys on it, because then it wouldn't be a meme. Yeah. It would be the leftist meme equivalent of like, here, wall of text. Funny, exactly. Right? But immediately my mind just goes to like, well, that's not exactly right, but still,
Actually,
we need a.
I would, in my mind, immediately goes like, yeah, nice dunk. That is how it is, but remember, somebody could just put a mirror there, and it would be true all the same in the other direction.
But I also just love that it's like that it's got clip art basically. That's done it. Mm-hmm. That's awesome. So
I agree with Dorkus where there should be one other guy that's also like ran a little more to the right. Then there's two weird moderates. But the focus is seeing that what is considered a neutral or a center issue, not necessarily neutral, has changed over time. Like being anti-war was considered a left-wing position in a lot of ways in the 60s through 80s.
So
and now also what happened to gun barrel of democracy? That used to be a right-wing position.
Yeah. So listen, you guys are talking left and right. The reason that I actually, first of all, love the meme. That's why I wanted to bring it up. But the reason I brought it up now is actually one of the things that the Overton window as a concept was not supposed to do is go parallel with the left and right. But you can easily put them on top of each other because the conservative wants less government generally. Generally, that's just how, and the leftist is supposed to want more government, more regulation, more safety, right? That's kind of how I was introduced to politics.
More rights afforded to the individual would be a better way to put it.
Okay, but the left and right distinction is usually that's actually how I learned about the Overton window, and the center is kind of what is kind of accepted, but the Overton window is not that. It is, oh gosh, it's here. It is this. Actually, no, let's do this. Let's do the video.
No, wall of text.
Yeah, no. I'll do this, the video, don't worry. Okay, is it sharing? Let me just... where are you guys? I've lost you. Yeah, there we go. So this is what the Overton window is. It's not about left and right as much as we can easily put those in. It is about a policy. So listen.
Okay.
About policies, not a policy. It's about looking at policies.
The Overton window is a model of policy change. And the Overton window describes one big thing. Ideas that are inside the Overton window are ideas that are politically safe. The public is ready to accept them. But ideas that are outside the Overton window are ideas that might be too radical for the public to accept.
So that's the public accepting policies that are proposed by the government. Cool, Overton window. And of course, it's called the Overton window because of the person who conceptualized it being Professor Overton.
But quick addition, this works in other places too, like internet, YouTube, or a literal town square. These are all applicable there, so just keep that in mind.
Yeah, that is why we use it. We're going to use it in the way it's supposed to, because this was created by somebody who is part of a think tank, who their whole point is to look at policy, to analyze policy. So that is what this concept was created for. So that's what that's what we should first interact with, and that's why I've got the second part where we go and use practical examples, where we could even put it in gaming, because it's a social concept. Concept can totally be applied all over the place, but This is what it was created for.
And any politician who supports ideas that are outside the Overton window today risks finding himself getting defeated in the next election.
So the window is what is acceptable to what you're going to get the most support with, because politicians they need people to vote for them. That's what a politician needs. So what have we seen? Oh, we've had politicians that 1 minute they are interested, they are okay with not okay with gay marriage. Next minute they are. That's because the Overton window had moved.
Anything that changes the public's perception of an idea can shift the Overton window. Things like think tanks, the media, entertainment, a crisis, or historical events. Anything that gets the idea out of the open so that it can be discussed and debated has the potential to shift the window.
Okay, going on to that, guys. Hello.
Yeah.
Think about it. That's what we're doing. Maybe we can talk about the context of that when we talk about shifting the Overton window, we can talk about technology, its role in it, the fact that there's a lot more conversation, a lot more debate available to us now. Any comments? I'm going to press play.
I do have a comment,
Yeah.
but it's not really related to the Overton window. Did this guy break his nose once? Like, just I'm just looking.
That's where we are going.
I'm sorry, I just saw it, and I'm just like,
people actually like do that? Do you just judge? So I've had my nose broken many times. Is that going to be the first thing you notice about me?
Yeah, jeez, Bimo.
I mean,
what the fuck?
yes.
Your focus,
no.
Bimo. Exactly.
God damn it.
The Overton
a
window
lot
and
of
how I
self-conscious
look
about
at
it.
your face, okay, it changes over time.
For
Yeah,
what
that's
it's
fine.
worth,
Supposed to
Ray,
focus
the
on the
first-
substance of what he
I'm
says.
supposed to look at his beautiful eyes, and then I just slowly
Just
have
close
moved
your eyes
down
and
to his
listen.
nose.
Just close your eyes and listen, okay?
Okay.
My nose is so much more crooked than that. Well, you
That's
are
because you're
hereby
British.
judged by Bimo.
Yeah, I think he's got a normal looking nose, but wow.
Yeah.
I
Wow,
okay.
Bimo.
didn't say it wasn't normal. It's just I asked if he broke his nose because his nostrils
we
aren't
get it.
equalized.
He's walking it
He's
back,
a monster.
guys. Don't let him.
I do think he's a monster because Lord Cameron is British. There's a difference.
British
Wow. Wow.
my name literally means bent nose. Oh,
That's
my
awesome.
family's bent nose.
Overton
Goodness, said
window
that.
doesn't always move in just one direction. Potential to shift the window. The Overton window doesn't always move in just one direction. For a public policy on alcohol, for example, we have the Overton window moving toward less freedom when prohibition was enacted. The consumption of alcohol was made illegal because the public was fed up with the social problems caused by very high alcohol.
Okay, I have a
consumption.
comment. This is. I had to. God damn it. Okay, he's partially correct, but not entirely. My mind immediately goes to. This is someone who has read about prohibition and understands the basics, but misses some of the points. The public was fed up with things, but ultimately those things weren't all necessarily because of high alcohol consumption. It's just that everyone who had a line to the public, the politicians, the news people, etc., literally everyone, the public received information from, those people convinced the public that it was because of the high alcohol consumption. Not the same, because plenty of other places on the planet had even a higher alcohol consumption and none of these problems. So ultimately, the Overton window shifted because media figures and politicians all convinced the populace that one really bad thing is the cause of all of your problems. And if we only got rid of it, the world would be better. And how did that turn out for him? Because, of course, I don't want to talk about prohibition, but yeah, you know what happened.
I'm just
okay. Yeah, Dorkus?
I feel it necessary to point out, I'm joking with this, as Hydra said the movement to ban alcohol was started by women. So thanks, feminists.
The women's temper.
No fun allowed. None of you having fun. No, 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 no.
But don't worry, the movement to unban alcohol was also started by women. So
Okay, well, listen,
Okay.
okay, yeah. But now the
irony.
idea, guys,
They
the
can't make
idea-
up their mind, guys.
No,
No, okay.
they are back to
I
neutral.
can make
Okay, it's
I know
fine.
exactly what I want when it comes to alcohol. Okay.
Good.
Hey, you're supposed to be at work or sleeping, whatever. But I'm happy you're here.
You're missed.
So,
Come hang out with us.
yeah, come hang out with us. So listen, that is all well and good, but that doesn't make the Overton window a flawed concept. Isn't that cool? It's still a cool.
No, it's still
concept.
a thing. It's just it was moved by different things. I disagree with the guy on what it was moved by. Not that it's a thing, obviously.
The movement,
Multi-dimensional.
The movement does not make it. Does not invalidate. It's
of course it doesn't
invalidate it. It's not going to always move in a certain way. It's literally just a gauge.
Yeah, he already covered that it could be affected by cultural manipulation.
Cats push it around all the time.
So let's go into it. It's not that long a video, guys. Well done. We're halfway through it.
Those days. When people saw the effects of prohibition, however, they decided that the law that they thought they wanted, they weren't too happy with. And so the
Is that okay? I mean, it's very simple. Of course, we have 2 minutes in which
I understand.
But I realized the law was not good.
2-minute video, fine, I'll let it go. My mind immediately is like, I had to write stuff about it and it was great. It got them it. But okay.
Yeah, no, so that is the thing, is that they realized that law wasn't what they wanted, and that includes what you just discussed, the fact that it wasn't what they had believed previously was false in any case.
More like they felt the consequences.
They felt the consequences.
Yeah.
More than they thought, and that also it didn't land up creating utopia.
Not only that, it turns out making a product completely illegal means that there is also zero ways to regulate it now.
So that means when you're trying to say there's absolutely no alcohol,
and also it led to a bunch of societal changes. Fun fact: this is why men and women meeting at bars was a thing at all, because normally there were social norms preventing this kind of thing. Open flirting, men and women drinking together, how dare you? And then when everything moved underground into the illegal establishments, speakeasies, then there was no choice. Men and women were drinking together because that's the only way to go get booze.
And that is why I like this idea. It's what I really liked about sociology.
From there.
Everything went, you know what? Let's go back to that.
Don't hit on women in bars. It's just awkward. Just don't do it. Just don't.
In the 1920s,
it's always awkward. It's always awkward to hit on women. I think no matter where you're hitting on women.
Like if I were to rate it, it's
okay. What? Lucy? Exactly.
So,
what?
So as long as you're rating it, BMO, and bars are off limits. So where do you hit on women, BMO?
The gym when they're working out, of course.
Yeah, there's nothing awkward about that.
Nothing at all. Oh my gosh! Now I'm
tell us.
So if I were, honestly, hitting on someone at church is not that awkward. Hitting on someone in a social gathering.
What is this guy talking about? Get him off the screen.
Well, think about it. Jesus is there. He's making it so that she can't lie.
You got to leave enough room for Jesus.
Okay, guys. We are doing the courting thing next week. Okay.
Please, I need lessons.
We are totally doing that.
Thank you,
I'm
Dorkus.
for real. I'm for real.
All I'm saying is any extracurricular where men and women can gather, but when you add alcohol to the mix, things can be a problem.
Barnes and Noble,
necessarily.
Or a
Barnes
party.
and Noble. Okay, that's okay. I've been hit on in Barnes and Noble.
There's a meme that goes around saying it's okay to hit on women in bookstores. Yeah. Like that's preferred. Don't buy me a coffee, buy me a book.
Yeah.
Kind of a meme.
I see you're reading this week's smut. Nice. I've also read.
Hey. Bookstores are yes. Yeah, absolutely. Or just when you talk to me about books. That is a good way
No,
too.
there is something far more important in bookstores than women. Cats.
I thought you were gonna say books.
Cats with jobs while you're walking your dog. Yeah.
There you go.
I hit on a cute American boy at Barnes and Noble once. Looked like an artist. Oh, really? Was his hair messy, Lord Cameron? He's talking about.
I'm imagining covered in paint, but maybe that's just me.
Covered in paint.
It's because I made a messy.
Women love well-read men. Yeah, exactly. Except if it's like if they're reading Daniel Steele or something, and you're like, oh well, that's not for me.
No, you got to pick up the guys that are reading Timothy Zahn. All right, those are the ones.
Lee Child.
Do not actually do that, by the way. Do not. Do not hit on your best friend's sister when you hang out with him. Okay, do not do
that.
Or
okay.
Absolutely do that and find out that it's okay.
Okay, we are totally.
You will find out whether or not he is your best friend real quick.
Well,
you'll find out very quickly.
Gives a term to a new meaning to the term bro.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Okay.
Well, I guess to kind of tie it back, it looks like Paffy has a way to become a little bit more in the Overton window and become acceptable. And that's why Tales of a Dog.
Thank you. Thank you, Gray. You bring it back to the topic. That's how you go. You know, we'll do it. So we're going to do pizza, and then maybe we'll use the hitting on women thing. Let's try that. Okay. So they weren't too happy with the Overton, and also just understand that we've got the Overton window goes from no government regulation to total government control. So that's the spectrum that it puts the policies on instead of left and right, but obviously, and that's why it's up and down like this. They try to distinguish it a little bit from the left and right.
I think it's just because that way, because it's easier to read the lines, but you know.
No, but it literally, it was a way that he wanted it to be visualized. Because,
I know, but it would have been harder to visualize horizontally.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
I'm not going to give him any credit for it, sorry.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, then another thing is easily we can go, no government is the, actually, which is funny because conservative, we're conserving. I suppose conservative would be somewhere in there. Anyway, let's continue. There is a fun graphic we'll look at just now. So let's go.
Overton window shifted back and prohibition was repealed. So the pro-prohibition forces overshot the Overton window. Policies where the window is shifted toward more freedom would be women's suffrage. Clearly, that's an area of more freedom today than it was.
Any comments from the peanut gallery here?
No, it makes sense.
Years ago.
Only the chestnut gallery may speak.
I like peanuts.
I mean, what was it? The women's suffrage movement.
Oh my God, he's back.
Hey, look who it is.
Hype for the box, everyone.
Hi.
Hey guys, how's it going?
So glad you're here.
It is going places.
Places.
Yeah,
How are you?
just happened to be lucky this week. My
Oh,
work schedule allowed it.
Nice.
But now that you are here, it's going excellent.
Well, great to see you.
Yeah.
Mm.
So we're talking about the Overton window.
Yes, I also heard the stuff about the dating, but you know what's a great place to, well, I've heard anyway, to ask people out or get to know them and then eventually ask them out is hobby activities.
yes.
Where
100% extracurriculars.
Isn't that
Yeah.
obvious, by the way? I'm sorry.
Oh,
being mean.
no, it's not, Hydra.
Why is it not
Advice.
obvious? Obviously,
Because there's
you
an
would go
autism
to the
content.
place where you have common interests.
Hydra,
It's literally the way
Hydra.
to connect, no?
Hydra. Dorkus asked for notes. All right. He needs to know these things.
Yeah, Dorkus, I had no idea, guys. Luckily.
Yeah.
Happy Thursday, Louise.
Yes, happy Thursday to you
we're
too.
talking-
I'm learning more and more every day. That's it. You know, for my brain, maybe it's just wired weird once more because my brain is wonky. But this is like such a thing that would never even be needed to be stated because it's like I turn on the light, it will be bright. Obviously, like it's you want people connect with same as you go to same place they would connect with you. You know,
Hold on. You like cats, go to the cat cafe. You like, yeah, I get
There you
it.
go.
We'll talk about those techniques next week. If you're looking for a date, we'll make sure that you'll find one. Right.
Sure.
Wait, next week. Next week is Thanksgiving.
Oh, is
Yeah,
it?
it is.
Is it Thanksgiving? Oh, bloody Americans. Fine. Gordon will be happy. He'll be like, fine, cool. Then we have a Thursday night. We'll do Thanksgiving.
No. We could
We did
still have it.
We did do Thanksgiving last year. We did.
Yeah, I remember I gave thanks with you.
Yeah, we did do. We can do a short one. I understand everybody's with family and things, so we could do a Thanksgiving. It got demonetized, so I don't know what
Did it?
Yeah, it did.
There were some impure thoughts. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know. I need to go back and look at it. But either way, Thanksgiving is too good a pun to pass up. And it's all mourning for all of you Americans. So there's no excuse. Yes? Gobble, gobble?
Yes.
Gobble.
Gobble. But then we will do the dating thing, I suppose, at a different time.
I mean, Pappy put it best in the chat. Family reunions are the best place to find a date, right?
Oh, fuck's sake.
He said that in the chat. My side hurts
guys.
so much. My side hurts so much. I was trying to hold in my laughter.
Why? So, because then I would scold you. Yes, absolutely.
Okay. Now, here's wait. You're adopted, right? Let's just say that. Hypothetical. You're adopted.
That make it better, though.
What are you talking about?
No.
Yeah, it does make it better, but still awkward, especially.
I mean,
also
extended
having
family that brings friends. Okay, those are on limits. All right.
All right.
But I think why it's so taboo and like not correct isn't just because of the option of like children or whatever. It's the whole like interconnectivity of the relationship and the ramifications of it. So I'd say no, that doesn't make it better.
You know each other way too well.
Don't you want to turn your family tree into a family circle?
No, family bush.
A family wreath.
Okay, guys, too much fun. We have to get into the Overton. We can apply this. We'll apply it.
We overshot the Overton window on this question.
BMO, Taffy, that is outside of the Overton window. No deal.
None of that. Okay, we have disavowed.
Yes, both the nose and the family dates.
Yes. Thanks for reminding us of it. Yes, see, BMO. No wonder he won't show his face. Because he's being judgmental of everyone. He doesn't want anybody to walk in the street and be like, that's the judgmental artist.
I mean, look at his profile picture. He doesn't even have a nose. Clearly.
Yeah, sorry. It's just the method that my family has used has made me not have a nose.
How do your glasses
Family reunions lead to marriages, guys.
Oh God.
That's why I don't have a nose.
Yeah, that is why. Absolutely.
That is.
I want to see Pappy. Do you have a nose? Okay. So we've got more freedom today. So he's just giving us examples.
Pappy, not smell Pappy.
Hey, J-Mac.
Hey.
We're not talking about the Overton window right now, but now we're going to talk about it.
Yes. Back on subject.
And in an even shorter period of time, many of citizens' rights regarding firearms have shifted in the direction of more freedom. There's a common misperception about the Overton window, and that is that politicians themselves move the Overton window. That's backwards. What politicians are good at is detecting.
Well, sometimes
good.
So
yeah.
it can go
good
either
politicians.
Way. A good politician always takes advantage of where the Overton window is.
Yeah.
A skilled politician may even be able to pull some strings with the people who give the information to the local populace to nudge the Overton window a tiny, tiny bit in their preferred direction. And enough of those nudges add up to a noticeable drift, which along with events, social norms, blah, 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 leads to drastically changing Overton windows over time.
So it's all interconnected. All of this is sociology.
Yeah, it's not as simple as saying, a politician could never influence.
Yeah.
No, sometimes they are reacting to it. Sometimes they are making it. It's not.
This is their video. They do say like it's backwards, whatever. But in their article, in their actual page about the Overton window, they do say that sometimes a politician can shift but but it's a risk. They're taking a risk by stepping outside.
Because they step outside the window in order to, obviously.
In order to look for the audience, you have to see how it goes, and that's a huge risk. So
where the Overton window is and reacting to it at any point in time. The Overton window cannot tell you if a policy is good or bad.
That was one of my favorite lines in this video. Do you want to hear it again?
The Overton window cannot tell you if a policy is good or bad. What the Overton window does is tell you what policies are on the verge of possibility. Ideas that are near the edge of the Overton window, but just outside of it, may be tomorrow's policy reality.
So there you go.
Because he's talking like the policy is like the Overton window is dictated by cultural opinion, and that's where the fight goes. Is we need to push this out so that it becomes more culturally accepted.
And if you want to shift the Overton window, specifically that of a group or a nation, it's you will try to meddle with their culture or information or news or perception in order to achieve this shift, because it is because of the fundamental concept that the Overton window is something that is perception of the people. The perception of the people derives by necessity from the things they use to examine and see the world around them. So by necessity,
and create the world around them.
The Overton window is created from the information they take in from around themselves and process. Therefore, the way to mainly shift the Overton window most reliably and effectively is to alter people's perception of the world. The easiest method of which is to, change what they can see.
Yeah, expose them,
Wouldn't a good example of the people trying to shift the Overton window, not through a policy, but a cultural sense, would be the stream that you covered just yesterday for us. Where you were covering a bunch of left-wing people trying to specifically, like, it wasn't originally about trans issues, then it became exclusively about trans issues.
It was because Piers Morgan had this one little nitpick that he wanted to do with Pac-Man. And that's why they landed. And then I suspect that Brianna Wu was in the wings of something, or like going to be there. And that's why they were able to put her in. But yeah, it was just a shit show. But they've spoken about more trans issues, given more. But continue, Bima. Yeah.
Oh, no, that's just the example I was trying to give of the people trying to affect the Overton window so that, policies could happen.
Yeah. And
cultural change is what allows those things to occur.
Exactly.
Normalization, like we said.
Yeah, and we've got this normalized that is part of the concepts that we actually work with. So if we look here, so we've done what is the Overton window, guys. We've realized that it is a spectrum. What it's done, it's used to look at policies. It's not my favorite thing. It's not telling you what policies are good or bad. It's just, hey, what people think of it. Okay, so that's the only reason that.
What is okay to be spoken about? What is the thing that you can stand out in the middle of the market stall, yell to the crowd, and not be beaten up?
Okay, yes, that is how we use it. But when in terms of policy, looking at policy, it's you as a politician. You're going, what policy can I mention without losing office? so
if I unironically
Yeah.
argued that there should be a department of ice cream, a federal department of ice cream that gives every citizen in America one scoop of ice cream every other Tuesday. That would be right at the center of the Overton window, right?
Why are you against?
Depends on the flavor.
No. Okay, you want to do it?
I love how this is like more important than a department of artificial intelligence.
Okay, so we are going to let's do practical examples of the concept. Okay, let's do that. The example I will use is on their website first, and then of course I'm going to whip out Xmind, and we're going to do our own ones, right? So this is what
the ice cream question. Could we ask Foxrue what he thinks? Is that a central issue? Is that in the middle of the Overton window?
Is that what you voted on?
I don't know. What is it? Yeah, I think so. I think that would be. I couldn't imagine. Because you would think that lactose intolerant people might have something to say about it, but lactose intolerant are some of the most avid
cream lovers.
ice cream enjoyers.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
How did you miss this? How did you miss that? We literally rejoice. I don't know, maybe you were in the, but look, we've got Darling. Darling has made a great thing here, a great connection. Would you say the Mott is outside of the Overton window and the Bailey is inside? I feel like that is.
I'm not sure I agree with that.
A lot of the time, it's how it works. That's
I mean,
what makes
generally, but like usually the Mott is the harder to defend position, and then the Bailey is
the other way around.
easier to defend.
And none of them have to be inside the Overton window, by the way. Both or neither can be. Like, it's just, I heavily disagree with this statement. But
I would disagree. I would disagree. I would say that by definition, I forget which one, but the defensible position is defensible. The defensible position. The defensible position is defensible because it's inside of the Overton window. I would say like, definitionally, it has to be that way.
Definitionally, yeah. Well, look, in a different context, because now we're talking about policies and things like that. But in a different context, if our scales are different, like then maybe we could say your Mott is this, and because you can move an argument around in that way, what is defensible and what isn't in a social context. But
I see what you're saying, I'm not sure. I still don't necessarily agree because like we just went through like what is considered like what is within the Overton window is what is seen as generally accepted or acceptable to the culture generally. But in the terms of a policy, it's people will accept this as reasonable. And a Mott and Bailey doesn't necessarily have to be regarding reasonable subjects or reasonable arguments, because that's the whole point of the Mott and Bailey is that your Mott is what you actually think versus the Bailey is what you're putting forward as an easier to defend position. If that makes sense. So I'm not sure I agree. Still,
no,
there's a good point, Andrew.
The Bailey, so you see the Bailey. The Bailey is the big thing where everybody likes to live. But the Mott is what you're actually.
I keep getting that backwards. Oh my gosh.
This is what you're trying. This is what you're trying. This is the bad idea. Sorry, no. This is the defensible idea. But here is what you're actually trying to get people to do.
I don't see I think you have hidden cursor.
Sorry,
so you're saying this and that.
So Bailey. Thank you, Andrew. So the Bailey is is where things are where you're gonna really play around with what's allowed, and that's actually what your argument is and what we hear you say. Then when somebody comes and burns down one of the houses in the Bailey by
the Mongols invade with their horse archers.
And as V said, they go do into the Mott and they say this is defensible. All I want is equal rights. All I want is equal rights.
All I want is to be able to hit on women at gyms.
Exactly. So that's with that is how it works. But so I do agree with Darling that it's a good spectrum to put on top of the Mott and Bailey. I agree. But we also know that considering how flexible the idea of the Overton window is, you could make an Overton window, like I've said, what we're going to discuss is the Overton window of our Discord and the Overton window of this and the Overton window of the Thinkers. So that I think that encompasses everybody's concepts. It works. Okay. It works for everybody. Nobody needs to disagree. We made it so flexible that it's all allowed. Yes? Fight with me if you want. Okay.
I will.
I just want a procedural crime drama set in Victorian London following two detectives, one called Mott and one called Bailey.
God damn it. Wow, I thought you were about to say something like, and they're going to investigate Jack the Ripper or something. And it's like, nope.
No, they have to just because it's just their names. That's as far as he's gotten.
That's it.
Okay, so let me try and zoom this in even more. I'm so sorry there's no dark mode.
Well,
just deal with it.
I'm still not sure I agree on the Mott and Bailey thing. Maybe it's because I'm assuming malicious intent from a Mott and Bailey argument.
Yeah.
I don't think that's necessary at all.
Yeah, it's not in the definition. You're bringing that, Bimo.
It's often used in such a manner, but it's not necessarily that. You can
It's
do
like
it
hiding your
completely
power level.
unintentionally.
You could definitely be doing it unintentionally, for sure. I know I'm guilty of doing that, 100%.
So,
hey, Rosales.
No, wait.
Rosales.
But just going back to it, I think that even if okay, so the Overton window is used in political discourse to talk about these ideas here, but you can also use it on an individual, not individual, on a group setting, right? Like you were saying before, what is the Overton window of the thinkers? And so when you include that, right, that context, I think that still definitionally the Mott is the position inside the Overton window.
Comfortably, yeah.
It just might not be inside the political Overton window.
Yes, I agree. I'm with you. Do you get it, Bimo?
Yeah, I do.
You better say so. Okay.
No, I want to extend this for 30 minutes.
No, we could. We got time, guys. We've got time. So, so remember the spectrum. The reason this whole thing was created is an example. So is that we've got the most government control at the top. No government policy at all at the top, and then all of the control at the bottom. So that's where the window is. So what they've made, which is really cool, is that you can shift it. I like that they did that they didn't just give you an example of where it sits now. You can just drag it. I really like this. Thank you, Think Tank.
Very fucking better when they showed the animation on screen in a YouTube video. I would be disappointed if you couldn't do that on the website. That would be like,
Be frustrating, right?
Unsatisfied. Yeah.
So this is the example I want us to do. We'll look at their example here and then do our own one on Xmount, right? So the way we've got for education, which is also topical, because you guys have a wrestler lady as the head of education. Something it sounds like America is being very South African with its ministers. It's
electing YouTubers and commentators.
No, South Africa, where South Africans just are like, oh, the guy that did transport, he can do sport now. So it's like it doesn't really matter where your expertise lie.
I mean, sport is in transport, right? Transport. Sport makes sense.
No, but the point is, sports is an education. I guess sports and education go together a lot. So, but also wrestling. It's basically the McMahon wife. Anyway, this current events. Yes.
This is news to me.
Yeah. Share shots in your classrooms if you don't know your time table. Bimo, go on Twitter. The memes are lit, boy. Hydra, did you enjoy me saying that?
No, I did not.
Trump is making you.
I enjoyed it.
Thank you. Just so, you know what? Look. I'll give you the link, but we are full up now. And if Charles comes along, I'm gonna kick Bimo because he doesn't like that other person's nose, and I'm sensitive about my nose.
It's because I said that you could hit on women at church. All right, I'm being specifically attacked.
What do you even mean by hit on? Okay, check your Discord, Rosales. So, in the education policy, it sounded so jarring from me. Thank you. Okay, so we have no government control. The government is just like private citizens do whatever you want to do, and then we've got actually no papieren. As soon as you come into school, the government is there. So. Let's see if it was right there up on the Freedom Sovereign Citizens page. Could we move this even? No, it has to be the same size.
I wonder if you could remove the element.
Yeah, like that's the thing. Like, can't we make it smaller? Like that, the only thing that is there. Like if we had the libertarian, like I don't know, if Benjamin the Dream Wizard is here, I don't know if he would say no government policy on school attendance completely. That's probably one of the things.
That's a good question.
Yeah. So anyway, so that's what it would look like if the Overton window is there. No government-run schools or public funding of education. So this is how. Imagine if you were coming in and telling people, this is what I want to do. If Trump was doing this, right? No homeschooling regulation. You guys can do whatever you want and give a certificate for bubble blowing. No private schooling regulation at all. So you don't need a private school if everything is private. What is this logo? Hi, Rosales.
Hey, Rosales.
American Italian taste. Interesting. What was the
white pie? It's great.
It was a white pie reference.
Since 1991. Okay.
At some point last week, somebody mentioned something about a white pie, so I did that real quick.
Oh yeah,
Nice.
didn't we talk about what it actually? Yeah, the last time in Thinkers it actually was with that.
So it's
Okay, so
actually
then-
since 1 week, not 1991. You fucking liar. Mhm.
You just getting that? You just getting that, Dorkus?
School attendance being mandatory is cringe. Oh, that is such a Gen Z way of saying that. It's so
Yeah,
cringe.
hardcore disagree on that one, bud.
Mandating education is cringe. Yeah, exactly. Like
It's not.
No, it's
the
fine.
reason why people think that is because the quality of school is permanently stuck 200
What do
years.
you mean?
in
Our
the
school
past.
system's fine.
okay.
No,
we'll-
it's
we'll ask-
not. You are
we'll
the
ask-
dog sitting in the middle of a room being on fire saying this is fine. No, it's not.
I will fight you. I feel like, Wallace, you want to fight a lot of people lately.
We
and I
will
feel
chair
like
fight. Or the head of
just
education will chair fight you.
calm the fuck down. Okay? Everybody relax.
I
I
am
told you
relaxed.
so. Yeah. Says me. But anyway, the homeschooling is allowed, regulated, no pub. So like how do you have all of these in the Overton window? I guess okay, these are proposals for new policy, right? Private schools allowed, regulated, no public funding, online public schools allowed. So I don't know where is it currently, guys? Where is it currently?
I mean, school choice is one that was on the edge of the Overton window, which is that it should be where the students may choose the public school in any district. That's one that's shifted in the Overton window recently.
Shifted into it.
Into it, yes. Because before it was not a supported thing, and then busing started happening in the 70s, I believe. And that started to change the cultural opinion on being able to choose a different school other than what was in your district. And now it's more accepted. So like in the recent, it's been something that's moved.
Okay. Then keep that in mind, because when we talk about how to move it, how that moved is an interesting
How do we
way
move it
to
back?
do it. Students must attend the nearest local public school in their district. Obviously, you have so many damn states that this can be the policy in America, across America.
Generally, at least as far as I know, usually when you are in a district, you are supposed to stay within your district. At least when I was living in Washington State, that's kind of what it was like.
Supposed to, but everyone finds a way to break
is
rules.
there-
Like,
is there
oh, yeah.
any-
a lot of families are divorced, so you can choose one of the two locations, and then you can also use grandparents' addresses. There's a lot of tricks to get around it.
Yeah,
Tips
like
and
lying.
tricks. Like lying.
That's what happens when
It's within the Overton window.
Yeah. So is tax evasion.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's the thing is that like generally speaking, what do you call it? Lying isn't acceptable, but under certain circumstances, lying is very acceptable.
Oh,
I would lie to make sure. my
Well, no,
kids
like
get a better education.
we were
Yeah,
just
sometimes
bringing up
it's
here.
socially expected.
Where is
Yeah.
you're
Mhm.
following the rules, quote unquote, about where your kid is supposed to go, but then you put down, like Rosales was saying, you lie about where your
Where the
address
address
is or where the appropriate address is, and then you get to go to a different school.
I
Does
have
this
a point
just-
about school choice, though.
yeah.
The thing about school choice is that the schools that have more students wind up getting more money from the government. So if people have school choice, then they will go to the better schools that are better funded, which wind up increasing their number of students, which increases their funding. The lesser schools wind up getting less money and therefore start performing poorly and don't have enough money to find the teachers that will do better. So it winds up being, it's really, really hard to fund poorer schools because they are poor.
And they stay poor.
Well,
and they
that's
just go
why.
in a cycle that makes them.
That's why parent involvement is so important. And
Bingo.
not necessarily parent involvement with the school, although that is good. But parent involvement with the kids. Yeah.
Very
so are there any states in which homeschooling is prohibited?
Yes.
I just want to ask. Really?
Yes. I know this because I was homeschooled. What was it? We could not move to, where was it? What was it? Oh my gosh, I'm trying to remember the state because we almost moved to it. Was it California? No. Homeschooling is allowed in California, isn't it, Dorkus?
I'm pretty sure it is. I had a friend that was homeschooled in San Diego, so for whatever that's worth.
Right. So let's go over here to this. Let's do pizza. That's why that's actually why I brought Rosales in. Because he was part of the
white pie conversation.
The white pie. That's exactly it.
So it looks like one state is Rhode Island, where they require school attendance.
I mean, that's barely a state. It's just barely more than Delaware.
Yeah. But it looks like most of them require a notice of intent to do so. And then they will basically require a ton of paperwork from you over time just to prove that you're actually teaching your child, which is good. Homeschooling can be good and very bad.
I remember hearing about those homeschool cases where it was basically child torture and trying to have kids to memorize the Bible.
I had a very good homeschool education. So, I mean,
yeah,
you have to have a license.
You're putting it up to the parent, and parents can be really good or really bad.
Well, it turned into a community co-op type situation. So it wasn't just one parent. It was a lot of people with multiple types of expertise teaching. And then we actually had textbooks that were from previous teachers. And my mom already knew how to teach children. She had a degree in it. So that was something that it was easy for her to teach us. Well, I wouldn't say easy, but she could do it.
Rosales, do you have to have a license?
You need a license for that education.
Oh, that's exactly what
I don't have to have a license, but I do have to follow a specific criteria set forth by the state, and they have to qualify for that.
Okay. Yeah, you have to meet a standard. That makes sense to me. Yeah. Sorry, in Foxer, were you going to say something? I interrupted you.
Oh no! I'm searching for a way to segue, but into the Jaguar commercial and Jaguar rebrand.
Okay, well, when we
is
get
that within the Overton window?
So when we talk about moving the Overton window and misreading the Overton window, I think that'll be perfectly fine. That's where you'll have that. So right now we're on practical examples of the concept.
I'm the normie in this conversation. I don't even know what you're talking about, Foxer.
You are. You've been too busy. Now just focus on the pizza pie policy. So no government involvement. Okay, so let's say actually, I don't know, thinkers. Should we let's say no thinkers, like the thinkers government. Okay, because we did a think last week and we kind of agreed.
No thinkers government involvement. Oh no.
High thinkers government involvement. Okay. And so no thinkers government involvement is everyone can put whatever. No, actually, it's even worse. Everyone eats whatever they want.
I thought
Zero Fucks message in chat? Because I feel like we already talked about that. I just wanted to address it. Do you associate the Overton window with a leftward shift? No, not necessarily. It's just what's deemed as culturally
more
acceptable.
commonly, certainly.
Like over time, sure, but it's not necessarily a left-right dichotomy.
No, but like I don't know, the whole idea of like progressive or whatever, it is kind of moving in one direction. Like it's weird, but generally societies don't kind of go back more conservative. It's kind of like a gas brake thing. So kind of, but it's not meant to be that way. It's just what becomes more acceptable.
Yeah,
on the fall.
Actually, there's a wonderful stone toss thing I need to find for this.
I don't like that. Oh man, I would be able to say so much more interesting and clever things if only I wasn't so fucking tired. It's so late over here. Okay, I don't like that description because of the human perception that we decided that all societies go forward. Like, there are so many failed ideologies that were tried in so many different nations that absolutely destroyed them or brought them to new heights. Do you consider that moving forward at all? Or are those progress forwards because, you know, they tried something and now we know not to make that mistake again, even though it was made again and again and again? Or is it just with new technology and societal shifts, new paths people decide to take their country down on? Like, people don't go back to feudalism not because of some fundamental concept saying that, oh, that's not cool now. It's because it's not efficient in today's world at all for anything that the government or the people in the government or anyone associated with the system would want to do. There are more efficient ways to do it. So I don't like this description of like, oh, humanity is on a line towards progress or anything like that. I think it's better to visualize it as a tree branching, but that's just me.
I feel like it would just be more accurate if there's more elements that you can talk about. Okay, so
I've been reliably informed by Obama that the arc of history bends toward justice.
No, we wanted to.
That's MLK.
Well, maybe he used it.
I mean, same difference.
Okay. So are you guys seeing my examples here? Where does yours go here? The only thinker-approved toppings on pizza is like it's above here.
Pineapple.
So wait, without pineapple, just hold on. Okay, and then I suppose only thinker-approved.
So we have enforced heresy. That's what we have. Potentially enforced pineapple on pizza. This is a torture method.
It's not heretical if it's supported by the general populace.
I mean, by definition, yeah, but still, fuck me.
So, only thinker-approved pizza toppings, yeah.
What if the general populace, okay, like, what was it? Lead, you know, once they removed lead from products, then the IQ and peaceability. I mean, I'm not saying those two things are linked. I'm saying that there were two different effects that popped up once they started removing lead from products and lead from the air. And so...
And crime went down too.
Yeah, that's
there's
what
a
I'm saying.
potential link there with psychology.
Right, yeah.
Some interesting research into that area.
So if for some reason the entire populace went insane and started wanting pineapple on pizza, does that mean that it is a good thing? I don't
But
think
that is
so.
what they would have to be in order to want pineapple on pizza.
We just the Overton, where we put this line, it depends on what we think is good for ourselves. So if it was up to me, I would make people have. You'll find there's another one. You eat one in 3 pizzas you eat has to have pineapple on.
Queen Kita has dictated the law
to have pineapple. Okay, so where would we put the Overton window if we We're trying really hard.
Are we talking about thinkers specifically or like the world in general? Because I think in general, pineapple is just outside the Overton window. That's why it's acceptable to mock them. But I don't know.
I think it's within the Overton window.
It's on the fringe of the Overton window.
Like it's a joke.
And it should be outside, 1000%.
And because of closed-minded views like Hydra has, I think it remains just outside the Overton window. For some people, it's not acceptable, and thus you can mock it. So I don't know.
I think 1 in 3 should be higher.
1 in 3 should be higher. 1 in 3 is
because it's not you're not being fined for something versus enforced eating.
More
it's
freedom,
like I see what Rosales means. That's.
Yeah, these two actually could be like next to each other if we really, they kind of.
Well, one is enforcement of like how many pizzas, then the other one is the punishment for not like abiding by that. So I don't know.
Point is that this is supposed to be most control over here, and least control over there. And you know what? The only way that everything is fair is the communist way. No pizza.
Our pizza.
No, well, our pizza or pizza.gov, which is basically
no. This is where everything pizza is mandated. That's it. That's the only option.
The only pizza. Oh, so not no pizza. We've got only pizza.
No, everything.
What about calzones?
That is technically a pizza.
With everything.
It's more of a sandwich.
What about ravioli?
It's more of a sandwich.
Ravioli is different. Ravioli is different.
More of a dumpling.
Yeah, ravioli is definitely not pizza.
Ravioli
is pizza. Don't you usually share pizza? Listen, Lucy, don't bring the practicalities into my practical example over here.
It's coming with the assumption that this is being shared. It's just some people don't like pineapple on pizza. And that's
what if you get the pineapple on the pizza and then take it off of your slice before you eat it?
Ooh,
you have still contaminated the slice with the pineapple, okay?
Contaminated. Okay, so look, you understand that that's the whole reason I did a practical example with something silly like pizza is because it's fun, number one.
Because we can joke around with it all the time. Because it's not if we brought up something more serious, then it could evolve, or it's like the United States military having a military exercise of what to do in case of a zombie apocalypse. Okay, it's a nice, light-hearted way to talk around or something that would otherwise be contentious potentially.
Let's talk about a pizza.
Let's talk about a pizza. Just take it off makes me so angry. Okay, so CPAFI is with you on that. That you have contaminated the pizza. Yes, great.
Well, I don't know. If we're going with pizza, can we do Lucy's solution of like the half and half? Like, it's only half a pizza that's pineapple. It's not exactly picking it off, but it does limit the amount of pizza you can have.
I think that kind of relates to the 1 in 3 pizzas you eat has to have, like that would be the practical application of the law where you're like, okay, 1 in 3 pizzas. So you just do the math to make sure that proportionally 1 out of 3 is pineapple.
But that's fractions. We're not good at fractions.
But that's how complicated law will get. It will you would think it's simple. No, it's not. So we've got practical examples. Does anyone want to do another one? Does anyone want to do something else that's actually serious? We will get into moving the Overton and misreading it. So we will use actual practical examples from current events later on after we've discussed moving it. But if you guys want to practice another one, let me know.
You mean like hot dogs with or without casings?
Okay, yeah, we could do it.
Isn't that just ground meat at that point? Without the casing, is it really a hot dog?
No.
I mean, it's
what do you mean by casing? What do you mean by
there's an edible casing that's used in the East Coast, like for hot dogs that you buy one on the street, you're going to hear this snap when you eat the hot dog.
Well, sometimes they're natural, sometimes they're not natural.
In the Southwest or in the Midwest, they sell hot dogs without that casing. They're cooked in a temporary casing and then released from it. And when you boil the hot dogs, they wind up having a split on the side if you boil them for too long, because the meat gets
That's why you gotta
bigger
grill
than the outside of it. So there's no casing and there's no snap, and you just kind of eat this shaped meat tube.
Huh.
I think that's what I'm used
never
to.
thought
I don't
about it.
remember. I think I have had both because I do remember the snap, but not
my
all
God.
of the hot dogs I've had have that.
Snap required.
Uh,
Or you die.
Learning so much.
yeah.
So snap required, that's the main one, is snap required or you die. And then snap or no snap, it doesn't matter. Eat whatever.
Sometimes you feel like a snap. Sometimes you don't.
I would say I have not tasted something with a snap, and I'm a bit scared of that.
I would think that the
Oh, it's
Europeans, the small pinkish European sausages probably don't have a casing, but like something like a real sausage, that's hanging from a loop or something, is
Yeah.
probably the best example of what would be around a hot dog on the East Coast of the United States.
They do have
Yeah.
casings sometimes, but it depends. But yeah, I get what you mean. I think, yeah.
Oh, by the way, I have a new keyboard.
Ooh.
Well, you're
Nice.
gonna
And
have to
I'm going to
put in
turn
a-
off noise cancellation. I'm going to see if you can pick it
Like
up.
click clack.
We could do keyboard control.
Okay.
Can kind of hear. Just see Foxroo's mouth moving.
No, I can't hear it.
Okay, here. I'll hold
I
it
can
up.
kind of
to-
hear it.
Lucy says Thucky.
Ooh.
That's crunchy.
It's
Okay.
quieter than mine.
Mm-mm.
Clickety.
Interesting.
And as long as there's no ketchup, the casing is a moot point. Oh, okay. Well, then we could have a policy on ketchup as well.
Wait. Ketchup or Grey Poupon?
There's no
mustard is
ketchup
always
on hot
acceptable.
dogs.
Yeah, no catsup.
Wait a sec. Are we
No
really
ketchup.
saying no ketchup on hot dogs?
No ketchup on hot dogs
I mean,
unless
we're
you're in
not
a
going
state
back to
fair.
the food thing. It's my fault. I thought it would be fun, but no, the cats are not going to be herded. So, okay, fine. We'll go into determining the Overton window. So when we had our practical discussion, it was kind of just jokingly hard to decide what is acceptable for something as silly as that. But
Yeah, I'm going crazy right now. I thought ketchup on hot dogs was within the Overton window thing.
Yeah, I mean,
Me
like if you're
too.
7, sure.
I guess
So
I'm 7.
how do we determine it? Is it a feeling? You know it when you see it?
I guess
Well,
so.
If two people
No.
are willing to fight to the death over it, then that's an Overton window. I think that's what defines it. If you
That's
if
the
you have,
edges.
yeah, that's the edges of the Overton window. If two people are willing to draw swords over,
Well,
Join up
what if-
today
what about-
to the
what
Ketchup
about-
Crusaders.
What about maybe not drawing swords? What about just spilling blood?
Let's
Like, because maybe you don't want to die for it, but you're willing to
well, yeah,
go to the ER.
I think leaving your husband is right there outside the Overton window. So Vinnie Mac is out so that she can get a job in the White House. Vinnie Mac is
Yeah.
Vince McMahon. So
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We can talk about her in
we don't have
current
to go there.
events.
Vince McMahon.
Ms. McMahon, yeah. There you go. Have you looked up some of the memes, or you made that one yourself?
I just made that myself. I thought I was a genius.
go.
Apparently not.
I've seen that one. Vince McMahon. Oh yes. Okay, so the determining the Overton window, wouldn't you think, because the Overton window as a concept is about policy, it's what policies are options, and then you look at the politicians that have been successful. So if you look at Trump, what people and what the conservatives have done is they've gone, woohoo, Trump won, and that means that the Overton window has shifted and that we are not
Which is a
accepting.
massive mistake, in my opinion, because you have attributed
Agreed.
to the just because the guy you supported got elected, jumping from that to the entirety of society has changed its views on what is now considered acceptable. That is such a huge fucking logical leap. Even when you try to squeeze things into that, saying that look, people are talking differently about this or that, it's not nearly enough.
Hydra, I hear what you're saying, but I think what the idea is actually being expressed is that there wasn't a sudden shift of the Overton window, but rather their perception of the Overton window
is confirmed
is what is confirmed to be different.
Exactly.
They thought that Trump was outside of the Overton window, but this confirms that he actually was inside of it.
Well, they did say that when Trump lost, it was a referendum on him and his policies and everybody who follows him. It was a vote of no confidence for right-wing extremist, white supremacists and so on.
Yeah. So it's literally just gorilla chest pouting. Like it's the same thing that's happening right now. Sorry, maybe I'm being too European on it. But from my perspective, it's continuously the I won, it's time to gloat moment after elections. Now and back in 2020, it was about, see, I have defeated the other guy who was going to destroy everything that we hold dear. He was a danger to democracy, to America, and everything. And these two old fucks are pointing the fingers at each other constantly, talking about how the other one is the spawn of devil and they are the second coming of Jesus Christ. Like, I am continuously annoyed that every single time one of them wins, it's about, oh, now we have shown that the people are sick of the other guy and all for me. Like, I'm sorry, it's not that deep. It's just about the issues.
I don't necessarily agree, because when Trump wins both popular vote and electoral vote, it shows, that guy won. Like,
that guy won. And it's for the reasons that he actually what the issues were and what he promised and to do.
Yeah, it shows that people were tired of Biden and Biden's policies. Generally,
then potentially, that too. But it doesn't matter that that is completely separate from the Overton window moving.
Yeah, it's still a slight majority believes that. Like it's not a referendum that everyone is said. Like I don't know. I was on a couple different shows like right after, and it's like this shows that everybody is, and it's like
definitely not.
They're still deeply divided.
I think that my problem is that these concepts can work completely independently from each other, and I don't see enough evidence of the enormous conclusion that is being drawn. I think if you're going to make the claim that the Overton window is not where people say or think where it is, you need to back it up with a lot of evidence, and saying this guy won when some people thought the other guy would win is not enough evidence for that. That's when I think my
the Overton window is based on policy and based on politicians, right? So it's based on
things, concepts that policies and politicians involved. Yeah,
I agree that when we look at that diagram where we move things up and down, there's people that are within those little blocks. So the window is very wide, but within that window, you disagree with other blocks. You know what I'm saying? You disagree with the block above you and the block below you. So that I agree with. We're all one block. We're all the same and we all agree. I agree with you on that. But in terms of the Overton window, the result of the election showing a different Overton window to that which was perceived, I think that's accurate. I think the leap that you've spoken about, I agree with you. The leap of everybody, like everybody has rejected wokeness. Everybody, this is the greatest thing ever.
That's what everyone is saying, because it's the continuous gloating after the election. I know, but that's a separate thing.
The Overton window is based. It's based in policy. in what is acceptable to suggest.
Is it acceptable to suggest that the Overton window politically is now defined by what Trump says and what Whoopi Goldberg says?
No, it's never one person, but it's if you were to engineer a society where all information or reactions or public things come and flow from a single person or a group of individuals, then you could actually say the Overton window is
well, I use those two as
do.
an example of what their point of views might be. So you have Whoopi on one side and Trump on the other side, and their points of views of society and how society should work and how politics and government should work define what it should be. So with that, I kind of have to disagree with you on whether or not they do define.
I don't think the Overton, like they can influence it like every single person, but I don't think it's ever going to come from a single individual. I think that's personally, I think that's absurd that the Overton window would ever come from one person alone. I think you would require some radical modifications to human society, turn them into a hive mind or some dystopian state where all information goes through one.
Can I give a hybrid, like between the two? Is that it's not that these two are defining it, but rather these two are acutely aware of the or are uniquely aware of where the edges are, and so people use them as goalposts. Not that they represent, not that they create the ends, but people are using them as the ends.
They're references,
references for the end of the
guideposts. Here lie dragons. Beyond these posts, the endless desert beckons. Do not pass this line, you know.
And it's so complicated because if we go into just looking at one of those figures, if we go and look into whether if we want to use Trump as a gauge, we'd be like, oh, yeah, because one of the things that part of the discourse, which determines where the Overton window is, part of the discourse can be lies as well. So you have the, oh, well, Trump is going to take away our IVF sort of lie. That sort of thing it causes people to go in an uproar because they feel like he, as a representative of, as the chosen representative, he's going to take away as a representative, he is going to take away or grant certain parts that are in and out of the Overton window. So that's what creates this perception of that's what creates our whole perception of politics. It's way too complicated to go down to just say this guy over here says it. And also, sorry, Pacman, your Gallup poll is not going to be the same thing either. The Gallup poll is not going to tell you exactly where it is. You're going to have to do a meta-analysis to get it. Whoopi isn't even Jewish. Oh my goodness, yes. She's not a Goldberg. She's not a real Goldberg.
Legally changed her name, yeah.
She's not even legally a Whoopi.
Border policy also represents both sides. What do you mean, Rosales?
Well, you have one side that advocates for everyone coming in under the guise of looking for safety, where the other side wants to deport half of the workforce. Mm-hmm. So open border, closed border, that's a simplification of it. And then everybody in, everybody out is an over-exaggeration of it. But it shows, where politically people are divided.
Spectrum. Yeah, it is the spectrum. And but the thing is, the people in the middle of it that are actually looking, which I would expect the people in the middle are looking at more factors than just all the way over here or all the way over there, the nuanced view. Those are the people that
want to keep their housekeepers.
Want to keep their housekeepers, but also, honey, you're going to have to follow the law. You can't have it both ways. So how do we move the Overton window? I suppose it's by, like you said, by discourse, by all of those the things in the video. I suppose we've covered a little bit of. We have to go into practical examples from current events so that we can talk about moving the Overton window, how we would move it, what has moved, and also misreading the Overton window. So I should have put this here. practical examples. This is the one we're on, guys. Okay.
Yay.
Yeah, we picked something.
Whoopee.
Okay, so what practical? So we've gotten one, which is the border. So let's talk about that.
On border policy, that like so.
What are our options?
Our options right now? That's a very good question, because it seems like every time the conversation gets brought up in politics, it only matters during an election year.
Yeah.
Yep, exactly. Like
that seems quite political.
For example, 2016, it was like the war. Mexico is going to pay for that war. It's going to be so based. Yes, we're going to section off our country from the south, and then none of that happened, and basically Trump got away with that huge promise and not following up on it, and suddenly none of the immigration, the Mexican, the war, whatever, it wasn't an issue at all as long as Trump was president, even though he didn't follow up on the war. And then suddenly when the next election came, suddenly immigration was very important, and also Biden did the exact same shit, just with other things of I'm going to make a big promise and never follow up on it. And suddenly it was no longer important as long as they weren't campaigning. So that's just a classic politician thing of like, every election is the most important election in our lifetime. My opponent, doesn't matter if it's Joe Biden or Donald Trump, they are the destruction of America themselves, and they have to be annihilated at all costs, and only I can save you and I can solve all of your problems. And then suddenly none of that happens when they are elected. They go around doing a victory round and maybe do some shit.
Well, Trump couldn't build a border wall, and that's a good thing, and I'll explain why. It's not that he couldn't keep his promises. It's because that he's not a dictator by himself. He had to work within the means of the House and the Senate, and both of those were at a secondary point unavailable to him, because people wound up retiring, leaving their seats, giving over control to the Democrats.
Why wasn't he able to negotiate with either of those bodies?
Because neither of them wanted him there. Neither of them wanted him there. You see, the Democratic Party and the Republican Party are both one side of the same coin, and that's the controlling group that defines what America does. Trump came from the outside, and because he was independently wealthy, he couldn't be bribed like most politicians.
He is literally the wealthy. What do you mean he was independent of the wealthy? He is the wealthy guy.
No. The thing is,
point. Go ahead.
What I'm saying is that most politicians who come into the United States Senate or the House are not independently wealthy until they're there for 30 or 40 years, and they don't make but a couple of thousand, $100,000.
Oh, you mean the people who career politicians? Okay,
yes,
I understand. Okay, sorry about that. Misunderstanding.
And career politicians use their positions to make money. He comes in from the outside, starts dictating things the way it's supposed to be. Everybody working together, everybody defending the United States as a whole, and they don't need that because that's not going to make them money.
I think that's oversimplification. I don't like how you position Trump as the person who is like.
A lot of people don't like how I position things. Okay, I'm not saying he's a good guy. I'm not saying he's an honest guy.
That's not the point.
What I'm saying is that there was a group effort from the Democrats and the Republicans to make sure that Trump did not get his way.
Yeah.
There was a group effort from an opposition formed against him. But what I was trying to say is that I don't like how you positioned it. I think it's an oversimplification of just saying that Trump came in, wanted to get things done, and then career politicians who live on things not getting done just prevented him from doing it. I think the situation is a lot more complex than just that. That's what I didn't like about
the swamp fought back.
The positioning. Yes, there was I understand the whole trying to get through the ocean of fucking whatever it is, red tape that is the biggest government on the world. But I don't think it is as simple as just, he was the guy who actually wanted to do things, but he couldn't because the swamp, I disagree with the concept that he was the only one who would have been able to do it. Like fucking Joe Biden, who is not an actual, but he has the intelligence level of a lobotomite.
I'm not saying that
and
he would
was
be able to do it.
get things done.
What I'm
How?
saying is that he did not have a chance to even try. Everything that he did, even when he did presidential edicts, was fraught with lawsuit after lawsuit to question the validity of his being able to do any given thing. So from the very beginning, people on the outside, people on the inside, lawyer groups from one political pack to another filed lawsuits and kept him from doing things. And you're going to see the same thing this time. He's going to write down one or two things on the first day. He's going to release a few presidential edicts, and the exact same day, because the judges are on standby, will allow a court case to be filed against it and put an injunction against what he's going to do.
I have a question, Rosales. Do you think that people fought Trump in a similar way that Obama was fought in the courts when Obama was in?
No, I think it was a little bit differently. There were small, there were fights against Obama, and there were radicals out there to do that. But these people that went after Trump were basically mainstream politicians and politicos that work within the confines of the government and just outside.
It definitely was culturally acceptable to be very anti-Trump and be, this is not my president for over 4 years.
No, the people who worked against Obama were also part of the government. Like there too, it was.
Yeah, but it was a smaller contingency. They were called the Tea Party, and they got busted up by the U.S. government and the IRS, who was sent to them by Obama. Okay, so Obama used the government to silence his critiques and his critics. Which
can't
nobody
deport
complained
me,
about.
Patrick. I'm not even there.
No,
you cannot kill what is already dead.
But that's deport Hydra. I'm against that. Hydra can stay.
You cannot deport me.
It's the only illegal will allow. Anyways, there was a point to what we were trying to get to. We went on a little bit of a rabbit trail, but the border policy. It sounds like we are. I'm just trying to figure out where we stand here on this. So, least government control, no border. Everyone is a citizen once they arrive, and everyone is welcome. I am definitely not okay with that, because this is the issue with open border policy, where they just want to make everyone that enters the U.S. a citizen. I'm not.
So I'm asking you, who is somebody suggesting? Is there somebody suggesting that?
Very few.
Well, there was an Obama quote that I saw where he was asked about, illegal aliens or people, migrants voting.
To me, but okay.
So he said that if you live in the United States, you are a citizen, and if you are a citizen, then you should be allowed to vote.
Yeah, so that is wow. That's
He said that when he was in office.
Yeah, so if you live there a certain time, you're just your residence.
He didn't even say a certain time. If you live in the United States, you're a citizen. So that implies that because it was on a border question, if you come to the United States and you wind up living here for who knows what amount of time, you wind up being a citizen. You are considered a citizen. And as a citizen, you have a right and a say in the governance of the country.
So my parents lived in America for 3 months.
That's the exact same philosophy from which the whole squatters' rights follows. It's like, oh, you've been there long enough. Now it might as well be considered that way.
And if you came from another country and you happen to agree with Obama, then you are more likely to vote for him, considering yourself a citizen, whether it's legal or not.
Yeah, if your vote is counted, that's what you're going to vote for. I mean, literally, my my election story was hearing somebody downstairs in the United Arab Emirates saying that they wanted Kamala to win, because then they would be able to have their passport. They could go anywhere.
Even though like the most famous clip from Kamala is the "Don't come."
I'm gonna come.
Exactly. It's funny because that was when they had a bit of an open borders policy at the time, and then they realized, oh, this is getting way out of control, even compared to what Trump had to deal with. So we're going to reinstitute Trump's policy and give it a different name. And it somewhat helped.
So, I mean, look, there is in these little blocks here, we've got the concept of border and the concept of citizenship, right? So we've said, okay, there's no border. A border means that, what is the concept of border when we're talking about this? It's that we look at you, come and go, like we know who's coming through this line. Is that a loose enough definition we could say for a loose border, at least? We know one country apart from another.
Could you rephrase that question? Like, what do you mean?
Could you speak English? So there is a border that is defined. We know that there is this country and this country. People can come in between. We don't have rules for you to come in and out. The only thing is we notice that you come in and out. We count you, basically. That's it.
Yes.
Okay, so we notice that you're there. There's a line on the map, and we've just got certain protocols that we do, like, oh, you've got 10 bottles of water. We just know that you've got 10 bottles of water. You've got cocaine, and we just know that you've got cocaine, and you can move across. That's the border. Okay, so that's like the lightest border. Is there an even lighter border you guys can come up with?
I mean, not having a borderline would be the next step.
Yeah, so that's what this.
What if it's the border, not necessarily a line on a map, but just in like, oh, and roughly this geographical area, the percentage of people living from one group as opposed to other group changes. Like here it's 90 and 10%, here it's 50-50, and now it's 10 and 90 in the other way. Therefore, the border is somewhere here. Like maybe that would be a lighter border, I guess. Not a line, but like an area of mixing. I don't know. I struggle to come up with something that's lighter.
We've got like state borders that literally is just a sign, like on this side it's this state, on the other side it's that, and then there's no like stop, there's no declaration or anything. So but I guess that would be like the lightest border.
I mean, if you're on the GPS, you do hear it where you cross that and it goes, welcome to this state, welcome to this state.
And technically when you are in that state, those laws apply. There is a difference. That's why it's not just we call it this and that's the end of it. There are different. This means something. The fact that you are in a different state means something practical.
Welcome to Colorado. Your license is no longer valid. Please find another driver.
This car will self-destruct. Okay, so we have no border. Everyone is a citizen. They arrive. Everyone is welcome.
Your subscription to car has suspended.
Border. Nice line.
Is she roboting for everyone else?
Nope, just for you.
Is it me?
What?
Am I roboting? I'm a robot. Beep boop boop.
You're a robot.
How about come and go as you please within the laws and policies of the state?
Am I roboting?
So yeah.
No, you are not roboting right now.
Border, come and go as you please. What is it? Obey the laws of the state.
Within the policy and laws of the state. It could be like the U.S. as a state, or Georgia as a state, or Russia as a state.
Of the country. So let's say of the country. Because you've got federal. So I suppose you've got federal. Shall we call it a federal law? Stay within the federal law. Okay. Laws. Then I suppose
that's what started the wave. Actually, is that a bunch of lawyers and well-meaning people headed south of the border and told everybody who wanted to come to the United States that if you applied for amnesty, you would be allowed to stay until your case is adjudicated, and then they'll make a decision at that point in time. And so, with all of these people sending out all of this information, they're like, "Well, yeah, I'm being persecuted. I need amnesty." And a flood of people came over, and it was just more than they could handle. And so they just started sending people different places. Before, it's now like years before anybody's case will be adjudicated because there's not enough judges and people to handle the situation.
It's not even it's not practical at all to have.
No, but it was within the policy of the United States to allow someone to present their case for amnesty. And they abused that and caused a flood of migrants crossing the border who really only wanted to come to work and feed their families at home. Some of them do come escaping the gangs that are in South America. Some of them do come in search of not being persecuted by the government. However, most of those people usually go to the U.S. Embassy in whatever country they're in to ask for amnesty right there and then because their lives are literally in danger.
Yeah, so they can be granted asylum.
Yeah, the bulk of the people who are applying for asylum in the United States, and I don't have a number for it, but most of them are lying about needing amnesty.
They're just like, listen, this is my path to citizenship or my path to residency, and that's what I'm going to say.
Well, it is a known thing that you will be let off into the U.S. Like you can go to an embassy, you can claim asylum. This is something that was a big problem before Trump instituted the stay and remain in Mexico policy, where you would come to America, and there were U.S. politicians that were specifically telling people to do this. By the way, I need to find specific. Like I know AOC was recorded saying this, so I need to go find it. But it was, you can come here, you can claim not amnesty, but you can claim that you are running from your country because you are in danger. Claim asylum. You get let off into the U.S. And sometimes you'll even get money. And then you'll just be free to do whatever you want for the next 2 years. Just show up to court.
Also, if you happen to have a child in the United States while you're waiting for your amnesty court hearing to happen, your child automatically becomes a U.S. citizen because they were born in the United States. So now you have another way of staying because you have to care for your own child.
Yeah. Which I'm okay with if children are born here, they are U.S. citizens. I feel like that just makes a bit more logical sense. But the abuse of that being the level of abuse that can go through, where people are just having children here so that they can become U.S. citizens, that's a bit of an issue. And I'm not equipped to.
Sounds like this system was based on a very ideal theory, as with most American systems, and it just wasn't ever truly stress tested with like, what if a lot of people come flooding in? What if people are deliberately looking to exploit it or mass? What if whatever, do you have the resources, the emergencies, the just in case to deal with it, the personnel, the protocols, to what happens if that goes down, if this doesn't work, etc. It doesn't seem like that was just done. And until it was too late, because it was time to pressure test it for real, and it broke.
Yeah. And what you have is every single policy that you see here that is actually being abused was done with great intentions, and is actually a fair policy. It's just that people wind up finding ways of abusing
the road to hell. It's paid with good intentions.
And then I mean, part of the discourse becomes, how do we solve that problem, and what policy? Like you can see already just from the hypothetical here, it's so complex that just for me, what it makes me think about is, then we need to just be less emotionally charged when we're trying to discuss what our options are, because if we're
good
busy
fucking luck
fighting,
with that. That's impossible with humans. No.
But if we're busy fighting about these over here, that's just not worth it. It doesn't make sense. And these over here, meaning this one at the top. But
children are dying, Kitty.
Yeah. So but you see, the politicians are, as Hydra pointed out with the alcohol policy, they will also try to influence what people believe of certain policies. It'll, I don't know, wasn't it 2016? They're going to take your jobs, that sort of thing, like that.
That's an old
politicians will create that. They're going to do that. They're going to take your jobs.
Take your gerbs.
Or I suppose if for this election cycle, some TikTokers were deciding that they were going to that we're going to not have their gay marriage was just going to suddenly disappear as soon as,
which is stupid.
Yeah.
That's a completely different subject, but that's so stupid.
what's this? Rex. Hi, Rex. You were.
Hello, Rex.
Rex did not lie. That would be. Oh wait. Then again, you're going to be at my stream tomorrow. I don't know. The Chamber of Commerce probably just wasn't getting the amount of people they wanted through the border. So they just like made it more attractive for a little while. Okay. Yeah, but they actually are taking our jobs.
I mean, it depends on where you work and what that actually means, because that, depending on the state, which is how these things kind of work, that's not necessarily true.
Well, speaking
they
of that,
are fulfilling a need. So remove the need, and then they won't come.
Just thinking about that. Just you bringing up all these different facets.
Hold on. There's a difference between a controlled immigration or migratory population,
and the babes,
and all the extra, especially the people that don't come across the border legally, that they end up either one getting into crime, not because they're looking for it, but because that's what's available, or they end up having to do other things illegally because they came here illegally, so they continue to break crime. So and that's not everyone, but like so it's not that all immigration is bad, but there's this extra amount that gets conflated with everything.
Yeah. And I'm not talking, like, I don't have an issue with the immigration as a concept or as a policy. It's illegal immigration that I think is the problem here. That is making all other immigrants look bad.
Well, and it's putting strain on absolutely everything in the whole country.
Yeah, I mean, just like what Wallace said, I think immigration is based.
I think ignorant people will say ignorant things because they don't understand different things. But most people who are against illegal immigration are not ignorant, and they don't feel the way the ignorant people do about all immigrants.
I think by necessarily most people who are for or against general policy positions are ignorant, just because most people are ignorant. So fundamentally disagree.
It's a gradient of ignorance.
I actually think that what part of the ignorance is. I agree that yes, there's a lot of ignorance, but the ignorance is also about. It's like this fog of war that the politicians give us, where we don't actually even know what their policies are.
Obviously, because telling us precisely
these vague things. Yes,
because telling us precisely, sometimes telling us precisely what they're going to do would only lose them support, where opposed to they can just say the thing and people will envision what they want to. And sometimes saying nothing is more optimal than actually presenting a plan for solving a problem. And the politicians' goal, as long as it's their goal to get elected, they will take the most optimal path.
But that's why I put in these lines as well. That if there's exploitation, actually no, let's add to it, Hydra, where exploitation of the policies, then we actually have politicians saying,
who is it?
Obscuring. Do I have it? Let's see if I can do it. But then it interrupts everyone. But you know what? Who cares? Where is it?
Politicians.
Damn it! Where's my video?
My big issue with the whole thing is that most of the people who are coming here illegally are being exploited the entire process through. They're being told one thing so that they have an incentive to come to the United States. They are then put in debt by the coyotes who ship them across the border, and then they are housed by the cartel so that nobody can find out where they are. And then they're employed by employers who pay them basically slave wages and no health care in order to keep them there. And all of this is done so that they can pay back the money that they owe the cartels and the coyotes. So they wind up having absolutely no recourse, and they come here for freedom, and they wind up being basically slaves.
Yeah. But that is still, there's still hope that, maybe I will be maybe this coyote over here will not.
Yeah,
be
but
the
my
way
my
it's
goal
supposed
with any kind of reform of the border is that we reduce the amount of indentured servitude that is coming to the United States, because we eliminated slavery a while back, and it's wrong for people who call themselves liberals but are not.
Mhm.
Saying things like, well, who would pick our crops and who would do this? That's kind of a racist attitude, I believe.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
And it's a cop
Oh,
out.
it's unbelievably racist.
People think that that's
They should get
actually
a fair wage. They should.
Yeah.
I mean, one, there are people. There are Americans and migrants alike can because you can be an American migrant and move around and be an American citizen. You can also come from another country temporarily, and especially if you live like close to a border, you could come to legally, migrate around, and all of that is fine. But they should be paid wages, correct wages. They should be taken care of. They shouldn't have to be indentured servants essentially, or be paid sub legal wages. It is insane, and it is racist when I hear those arguments. It's like that's their natural lot in life. And it's like,
well, what they
blows
also
my
do,
mind when I hear that.
What they also do in those arguments is that they think that they're using the opponent's racism against them. They're saying, well, who's going to pick your crops? You. They're trying to use that sort of reasoning against the supposed racist, the conservative. They're trying to use that as, well, yeah, let's see how you like it when there's no migrants and things like that. Let's see how you like it when you don't have a gardener. Like,
there were South American gangs that took over apartment complexes here in the United States in different states, and it was all downplayed. And they're like, well, it's only one or two apartment complexes. Why do these cartels and gangs need complexes so big? It's because they're storing people there. It's a human trafficking hub that they're being allowed to essentially do and run rampant across the United States. It's terrible.
And this is just a tiny little visual representation.
A tiny little, totally uncomplicated.
Yes. So, I mean, why not? You know what? That's all. So just solve it, okay, guys?
Yeah, just get good.
It looks like you're plotting out a video game.
Issue leading countries.
Yeah. So
you're plotting out
this is
the story beats of a wonderful novel.
Plus, these people don't assimilate. Okay, well, let's go even more.
Well, they don't need to assimilate, because we are adjusting to we're assimilating to them. We're adding foreign language speaking teachers to have these completely foreign language classes for these foreign language speaking students that have been brought into the United States. So we're acclimating to them and bowing to their needs without actually fixing the issues that they are in, because they can't say anything and they won't say anything. Because
would you say that the Overton window changed on this subject?
I don't have a clue where the window is.
I don't know where I honestly, I don't know where it is. It's interesting.
What would you say is let's talk about it. What would you say is a common belief regarding cultural belief regarding immigration? And then contrast that with illegal immigration.
I think everybody agrees that immigration is a good thing when
I'd say so.
When it's policy.
Okay,
I think actual immigrants who came in here correctly don't like illegal immigration because it's a shortcut to get to where they want. And not everybody who comes across the southern border is from a South American country. You have people with PhDs and degrees coming across as well to get work in Silicon Valley or wherever, based on their education level. Yeah.
Generally, I'm agreeing with these points for the most part.
Well, okay, so you guys have found a place where we generally agree, do you think? So when the Overton window article. When I look at that, let's go away from Xmind. You've been great, but let's go back to my article here and prepare for white text.
When you said that, the white screen changed the color on in your on your cam. It was great.
So think for a minute. So they use education as the example, right? And one of the things is they go here. Think for a minute about education policy. By and large, our society agrees that providing children with a formal education is a good thing. That's as far as we can get on agreement. Is immigration good or bad? Should immigration? Nobody is on this supposed to be on both.
Sometimes just that is how far we can get.
Yeah, that's as close as we can get.
Personally, I think that this is because of the fast dispersal of ideas in a modern society compared to ancient ones.
Yeah.
Like it's very simple to just, instead of a concentrated more groups of ideas, just like somebody just splashing paint on a wall, going everywhere, like immediately. It's going to have a shitload of ideas from all sorts of groups going all around because of the internet and modern telecommunications. So, yeah.
What is that statement? Hold on. Of course immigration exists.
I feel like Wallace is probably trying to bring through that one of the things that is part of parlance is whether certain disorders exist or not. Some people try to completely. It was a meme. Yeah. Okay. Immigration
Wallace
exists.
is a bridge builder. I mean, we can all agree.
Fans of pineapple on pizza exist.
Pineapple and pizza exist.
Yes, they do, and we need to decide what we're going to do about them.
Do we need to decide? I guess that's the starting point. And then also the question becomes how to accomplish this policy. That is an open question. Yeah, exactly.
The final solution to the pineapple question.
I think we can agree that you can put pineapple on ham, like a baked ham in the oven.
100%.
You can put a pineapple on ham, and you can put ham on a pizza. So it kind of follows reason that you could put pineapple along with ham.
That is flawed logic. Just because some things go together in one context doesn't mean that context can be placed into another thing.
You know what? You want to know what flawed logic is? This is flawed logic. This is flawed logic right here. Okay, 1/3 of the population of the planet is Chinese. Okay, so that means that if a person has more than 3 children, the 4th or 5th child is bound to be Chinese.
It's just that Chinesey.
Somebody ask Item Wizard if that works. I want the maths behind that.
Yeah, put the question in the Math Nerds channel in the Discord.
You can also put a piece of shit on pizza, but I wouldn't suggest eating it.
Well, someone will.
Someone will, and
if you pay them enough.
It doesn't seem. I just quickly searched up, and according to Daddy Google, population of Earth is around 8 billion, and China is just above 1 billion, so not 1/3.
Well,
even
either way, if you have 8 kids, the point is.
I know. I'm immediately fact checking. I'm sorry. The idea.
No, that's fine.
Anyway, I know.
We can fact check with the Mormon I know that has more than 8 kids. I'm pretty sure none of them are Chinese.
Are you sure? Listen, if you haven't found the Chinese kids, you are not looking hard enough. I know. They could be hiding anywhere.
I know when I'm wrong.
Rosales.
I saw a gender reveal where someone said, "Is the kid gonna be white?" Sorry.
Is there a milkman around there? Like, is that what we're saying here?
There's a Chinese
milkman.
Is there a Chinese milkman?
Oh, I got milk for you.
Oh
my gosh.
Okay. I don't know. I hear people say there should be absolutely no immigration. Everyone should be deported. You know what I feel like, considering this modern technology and the fact that everybody suggests things. Yeah, you hear that. But is that you have to eventually get to Congress?
I feel like I've only ever heard that
into the halls. Like, yes, exactly.
Online.
Yeah,
the online
influences.
It's much easier. Online, the Overton window itself is wider.
Yeah. It's wider.
Well,
The
it's just
Overton's
like
wider.
I'll use the election as an example.
Mhm.
Sorry, I'm lagging, so I must be interrupting people.
Go.
Silence. Okay. So I'll use the election as an example. So I live in a highly conservative state, like obnoxiously conservative state. And am I coming through? Everything good? Okay.
I can hear you.
Yep.
Okay. So when the election time, it was a week before the election, there was someone that came in to my work, and I'll have political conversations with pretty much anyone, because in this state, I am the centrist. I am not as highly conservative as the average person, and I'm not nearly as left wing as all the states around me. So I am the centrist, pretty much the moderate. And I had someone talk to me about how, people online are getting crazy. This election, I don't even know what to think about these people. And then the very next person is talking about how you're voting for Trump, right? He's going to deport all the transgender illegal immigrants.
Yeah, I know.
That was the only time I've ever met someone, and I talked to a lot of people, who just holds a weirdly extreme opinion.
You won't be able to buy a Jaguar in the United States anymore.
That's something I'd expect to see like on Twitter or something. It's completely different to have, like, I don't know, somebody tweet that actually the completely reasonable position is whatever.
Kitty, it's been brought up twice. Pull up the Jaguar commercial.
But yeah,
do you think it's just because of the anonymity?
All 6 of those transgender illegal immigrants, all 6 of them in the entire U.S., deport them, get them out of here. But I think that there's just a lot of emotional appeal in this, in immigration conversation, like a whole lot.
Why?
It was like, well, they'll die if they go back. It's a hard journey.
Okay.
Don't you understand?
Emo. Like, people misunderstand like what the promise is all the time. It just happens. It's like so crazy. Like you were saying, like he thinks that's a problem, and that 2, Trump is going to solve it. Right? Both are kind of like, so he's actually mixing up a lot of stuff there.
Yeah.
Which
it's like
actually
the lady
reminds
that's crying
me
on the
a
toilet
story
going,
of
"Save
my
me, Donald Trump." Like,
yeah, actually reminds me of my kid way back, 10, 15 years ago. He wanted to make a sandwich, and we would let him, like a peanut butter sandwich, and we would let him, right? But only when me or his mom were watching him. And we're like, no, you need supervision to do that. And he's like, oh, I wish that I had supervision.
I think the confusion about trans illegals comes from something that I can't verify is actually true. There was a story about an illegal immigrant who was sent to prison for some sort of crime and asked for gender change surgery and was put in a female prison, although he was arrested a man. And so you have this transgender inmate in a female prison who's beating up other female inmates, who happens to be here in the country illegally and was put in prison after a crime. And that would be a transgender illegal to be deported.
Get him out of here.
So I think, you conflate one with the other, and then you add hyperbolic language, and you wind up getting people tweeting out stuff that they believe to be true.
Whoa.
It's policy to eat the dogs and eat the cats.
Yeah, it is policy.
But don't eat the dogs with ketchup.
The dogs and the cats.
Don't eat the dogs.
It would make it taste better.
So, here we've got
Okay. Jaguar. What is
This Jaguar.
Where's the car? Is that a man in a dress? I mean, he was rocking the dress. Where's the what?
I think they expected a different political outcome in the U.S.
Why does she have Pac-Man hair?
Sorry, I've
I
taken
don't
audio.
understand this. This is gone way beyond the pale in what I understand here.
No, but it makes sense if Harris won and Trump was defeated, and all of his racist, sexist, patriarchic people were defeated.
Patriotic.
I don't know.
Patriotic. I
There you
love
go.
that.
But if they were all defeated and everybody was put down, specifically the man was put down, then it's time to celebrate the freedom and growth of the United States and everybody else. So you put all this money into this thing, and once it happens, well, now you've just got to use it because you spent all this money.
It just bothers me so much because actually it's just what did he say? Who was it? Who just said it? Oh my gosh. Yeah, Lucy said it. An ad that doesn't advertise the product. Like that.
Well, here's the product.
Ooh, it looks like the Cybertruck.
Also here.
It's
well,
broken?
maybe it just identifies as a Cybertruck.
Maybe.
Okay, that looks garbage. I'm sorry.
They didn't get rid of the Jaguar, guys. But they
No, you
did
cannot say it looks garbage.
iPhone-
You're not seeing the whole thing. But like that
iPhone
panel
S.
right there, I like the colors. I like the colors at least. I do like that color.
of the vehicle.
I didn't like the Jaguar liney thingy. The colors are okay and the contrast is okay. It's just specifically
this.
The
Puma.
just
Yeah,
the
it looks like
Jaguar
Puma.
form is there aren't enough lines to really make it. It could look so much better, you know. You know what I mean. You know what.
Yeah, and it
think it
reminds me
looks
so much
fine.
of Puma. It's just that it's not as beautiful as the old Jaguar.
All I'm saying is that ad bothers me. It's like when I see, what was it? That there was an ad for ice cream at one point that it was just a lady on a beach in a bikini and it was just all these sensual shots, and then it had at the very end it was the company's logo at the end, and that's it. I was like, okay,
What is it? Yeah.
What is
look,
it?
I understand them not putting a car in when you're revealing a new logo. Okay. But yeah, people, when I sent that to people, they were like, is it a fashion label? Are they making clothes?
I will say that dude was rocking the dress though. That was a good looking dress on a good looking dude.
He had a lot of confidence. Let's say that.
Yeah.
Well, because he had a hammer.
Exactly. He was ready to break the mold. He broke the glass ceiling.
Of course, he broke it, huh?
Was he
Of course
wielding
he
an
did.
actual hammer, or was that a euphemism?
His actual hammer.
Well, you got to remember, Kitty, in terms of the glass ceiling, the real glass ceiling being like women's suffrage, getting the right to vote, it was men that broke that glass ceiling because they had to vote for it.
Yeah. Damn it.
So it is men.
God damn. You mean men are responsible for good things too?
No, actually, because it was the worst decision.
Oh.
No, I'm joking.
Oh.
I like the Fifth Amendment, guys.
Mhm. Yeah, this is exactly the response.
But do you like the 19th?
I need to remember what the 19th is.
Oh, Bad American Detective. Oh yeah,
Isn't that women's suffrage?
We could Google it, but I'm not doing that.
I'm already a bad American. I don't care.
It's the women's right to vote.
Oh, okay.
That
That's
was a
what
joke.
was I saying? The Fifth Amendment. Hold on.
I would tell you, but then I would be incriminating myself, so I'm pleading the fifth.
Exactly. That's a good American right there.
Yeah.
He knows what he's talking about.
I make that face a lot, Paffy. Like I've got a.
Oh no! Fuck! I just looked at Dorkus. No, that is so cursed. I hate it
Beam,
so
Ohio.
much. Beam, Ohio. Seriously. Oh.
What's wrong
That
with
is an
that?
eldritch monstrosity right there. Jeez.
Time, a
The
woman's
the
worst
Fifth
enemy. Oh
Amendment.
God, shut up, CPAP.
The
Time
Fifth
is
Amendment
everyone's
is
worst
anti-women
enemy,
because women can't shut up.
I wish time was only women's worst enemy. You know,
Mm.
imagine a world when only women aged.
That's a concept to write a story on.
I don't know. Gravity would still work.
Ah,
True.
I see what you did there.
gravity is not applied equally. Okay, so look, the reason I did bring up the Jaguar thing, but it does relate to misreading the Overton window, because people are like, you have misread, and now in this context, obviously it's not policy we're talking about. It's the company's policy. Everybody, they had a window of things that were acceptable to suggest.
Yeah,
And
they're shooting for something off the wall.
yeah, and well, they had that within the company. They had a meeting, and they said this is good, a good thing. So within their window was good. Their window thought it was great, and then it came out, and people were not having it. They are like, this is horrible, and of course people have added like, it's so woke and blah blah blah. It's just
I mean, they kept bringing up the Fifth Element in the chat about how it's like that. That's the vibe I got. Is the Fifth Element woke?
I don't know.
Well, no, but the woke has
It's
adopted the
future
Fifth
aesthetic.
Element.
The
You
future
know
is
how-
now.
You know how old the profile picture is because you were the first one to find it. So, yes, Rex they are misleading it. Are they misreading it, or are they trying to move it? That's the thing, that they took a risk, because we were talking about politicians stepping out and suggesting certain things. So what they did is they suggested this and thought it would be accepted,
They
and
spent
eventually
money
it will
on
be.
this.
But eventually it will be, because it's just going to stick. They're going to have it there.
I mean,
You know what? That's my new
sure.
profile picture.
That right there.
The one that Dorkus
That
has.
Dorkus has. Yeah.
That's the
You
one.
look disgusting.
That is such a good face. That is descriptive of what happens on this panel all the time. Yeah.
I see that face and I hear wah 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 wah.
Well, that's what you'll hear with my new profile picture. Just so that this one can keep quiet about how old it is. Anyway, sorry. I'll let
Just
you
sent it to you.
Thanks. Right. So,
but I mean, in terms of them trying to push forward a cultural change with this, that is definitely what they're trying to do. So they're trying to shift the Overton window culturally to make that
disagree.
Like,
I disagree. I think that I think it was Rosales who said it, that they were trying to gauge where the Overton window was and be within it, not that they were trying to move it.
This is a really bad. If this was an attempt to move the Overton window, which I do not believe, then it will be one of the most inefficient and bad attempts in the history of people trying to move the Overton window. So no,
what would be an attempt to like it with Jaguar here, or Jaguar, or however you say it? What would be an attempt for them to move the Overton window if they were to make this an actual attempt? If this is not an attempt,
I think an effective and powerful attempt would be to, I know, hypothetically speaking, if they were able to acquire a bot network and spam everything full of how amazing their stuff is.
So they would have to
wherever you went,
manipulate.
you opened the comment section, it was just about how Jaguar's new stuff is the hottest thing in town.
Hold on, this is
like
supporting the point I'm trying to make. Actually, this is steel manning me here. It feels like, because what you're saying, that this is not an attempt. I'm just making sure I'm understanding you. This is not an attempt to shift the Overton window because of what?
I don't think it's well aimed in that. Maybe I phrased it wrong. I don't believe they were trying.
But if people embraced it, would it move the Overton window?
No, it would show where the Overton window is.
Like if what you were saying, it would show where the Overton window is, which
Because
is what they would use a bot network for, right?
I don't think
because they would be manufacturing consent at that point, right? Not consent, but like.
Okay, I've got a question.
Okay.
I don't have an answer to it, but I've got a question. So a car company, I forget which one. I saw something about it where this luxury car company started seeing a large increase in their sales because they stopped advertising at car shows and started advertising at like boat and plane shows. So if you're looking at the price of a boat or a car, the price of a boat or a plane, then the price of this car was actually well within your
seen as more
budget.
reasonable.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so
you are the pretty girl who went into the neighborhood of ugly women. Yes. Now you are looking better.
Interesting. Can you finish what you were saying there?
Well, I was just wondering, how does is that operating within the Overton window kind of mentality? Obviously, this is pricing. This is sales. This is not ideas. But does that idea operate within the Overton window, or is it trying to push in the Overton window a certain way?
The point that I was trying to make specifically with my example, like what I was trying to say,
was not answering the question.
I'm getting to that. Was specifically that if the people are finding it acceptable, then that has put it within the Overton window. So if they moving to a plane and boat show has now made cars more acceptable, that would put it within, is what I'm saying.
But a plane and boat show is not the mass of people. It is a specific group. It is a targeted audience. I don't think that is the Overton window. You might have like a subsidiary Overton window of that group, and it seems to be part of it. But I don't think that has changed the entire world's perspective on whether a Jaguar or whatever is affordable.
Well, was that Jaguar commercial an attempt to normalize being different? Because that's what it seemed like the whole push for that was, to become nothing or don't copy anything.
Be a Jaguar.
Well, it worked in school libraries.
Huh?
Well, they had drag shows in they
had
drag shows in school libraries and what.
That worked. And that was great. It was suitably out of line, and then it was like, oh, it's true though. It's funny because it's true. That's my question. Should we be talking about Overton windows, plural? Well, that goes back to what, Gray, you comment?
Well, so I think if we're going with like the car thing, I think there is a time when they have tried to switch the Overton window. I don't think they're necessarily doing that. I think they're just trying to find like a more artsy prestige, like what exactly would you call that, like a very niche market, and I think that's what they're trying to appeal to. But I mean, like there was a time where like Pontiac, they made this stupid one, I think it was called like the Aztec, where they were trying to make these really asymmetrical like windows, and it's seen as one of the ugliest
car that's ever been made.
Yeah. Where I think they were trying to change the Overton window and make this acceptable. Like they had some research that kids liked ugly things, so they could appeal to the youth market by being ugly.
They tried.
That seems like trying to change something. Like
9-year-old boys
like
love
these
ugly
traditional
things.
Yeah, so
they are definitely our market audience.
That seems like that's more changing it, where this is trying to find like a niche or market or appeal to a niche market to me, but maybe I'm wrong. The way that BMO was kind of defining it, it seemed like anything popular is automatically like changing the Overton window, but like,
I'd say things that are culturally accepted within a niche.
Have we discussed the Cybertruck?
I mean,
I was actually going to get to that. Because I mean, there's definitely an attempt to normalize the Cybertruck as the newest thing that everyone should shift to. I've seen it. It's even affecting where I live, where you won't find an electric charging station within 70 miles radius around me. But of course, there are Cybertrucks everywhere.
Oh man,
it's wild.
I've recently
you
seen
can
a
plug them into a
Cybertruck,
210
or at
output,
least
I think.
You've seen one, Hydra?
I've seen the European version of a Cybertruck up close recently. It's the ugliest fucking car I've ever seen.
It looks like
in
it's
my
missing
entire life.
polygons.
Holy shit! It's
But it hasn't loaded properly. Yeah.
it looks like a poorly optimized texture.
Exactly. There's not enough vertices.
Listen, it's just a little extra if that it's dangerous too. Okay, if it looks bad and it's dangerous too, it's its own little duckling category.
It's
cars.
designed that if you're surrounded by a mob and they trip and fall, they'll die on the corners specifically.
Or get their hands cut off on, by the
Kia
doors.
vehicles are easily they're easily broken into. Toyotas have a tendency to turn off the brakes while you're driving. All cars are dangerous, especially when you're drinking.
Yeah.
So, the only thing wrong with Cybertruck,
fundamentally, I mean, yeah, there's a reason why driving over someone should be considered an assault with a deadly weapon. Cars are dangerous. I mean, they are chunks of metal that go crazy fast. So, yeah, but still, there is a difference between the Overton window of what we expect a car to be potentially dangerous, like when you're driving, and how opening the trunk can cut off your fingers like a nasty surprise. That's not within the accepted Overton window.
No matter what car I drive, people should be worried when I get on the road.
Fear the car. Yes.
Fear the man. Not the car. Fear the man.
Just assume that everyone else is a retard whenever you're driving. You can't go wrong with that.
Pretty much, yeah.
I hope that everyone does that, yes.
But I mean, I guess I feel like we've gone beyond the concept of the Overton window here. Like with because I guess, yeah, trying to sell a niche product to an even nicher market has to have what's acceptable and what's not in there. But is it a large enough, like, I'm going to use window, is it a large enough like selection of things that there is an Overton window? I mean, obviously it's going to shift over time, just like the Overton window would, because what's considered acceptable in those markets does change over time. You don't stay with one thing. It's not like people are talking about IBM computers anymore. I mean, the market has changed. So I don't know. I'm not sure if Overton window would be a good, now that I'm thinking about it. Man, Foxter, you really hit me with this question, and I don't know how to answer it. That's for sure.
Don't worry, that's what we are here for. It's a good thing when I don't have an answer, because we can search for one. We learn new things.
Andrew.
Well, would Overton window as a concept even apply to that question that Foxter?
Well, okay, so the point is that you find I said I didn't have it, but the more I think about it, what they did is that they found a place where they were the middle of the Overton window, or maybe on the well within the margins at least of what the window of acceptability is, rather than being at the high end or maybe even outside of the acceptable window for a car show. They went within the middle or the low end of boat and plane shows, right? They found where they could be the middle.
Yeah. Okay, I'm seeing where you're coming from now. I think that would apply to the concept of an Overton window for sure. So yeah, okay. I have my answer there, but I don't really know where to go from there. It was like, okay, yeah, there's an Overton window in this, and they were doing it specifically to sell their product. So, I mean,
well, the concept, the reason we ever talk about, the reason it was thought about, conceptualized academically, was to analyze political policy, right?
Yeah.
Then so that is the reason we talk about it. Then that was our core discussion, but it seems like, and like I said, when I looked into the academics and things like that, they then create their concept of an Overton window within a certain I was going to say genre, but within a certain discipline of academics. So literally, the one of the articles was about biology. What was in the Overton window of biology? So it seems like people just have taken the concept and stripped it down to. Sorry.
They took the concept and ran with it.
Yeah, they are. But they ran and they dropped some things on the way. They dropped the policy thing, but they kept the idea of a window of acceptance. And I think that
No, sorry, continue. But then I have something.
Okay. No, yeah, that idea of a window of acceptedness, I think, is still valuable beyond politics. I think it's part. It uses because the Overton window was created and whatever used to conceptualize social phenomena or be based on social phenomena, which is what policy is based on. So what it's done is just gone a step back and gone, oh, let's use this idea somewhere else. And I don't think you're supposed to stop there and say make any sort of determination about it. You're just supposed to use it, which is what we're doing.
Okay.
On the topic of biology and commercials, I remember the Bud Light controversy with Dylan Mulvaney.
Now that's a fun example.
Yeah, that's a fun example indeed. And this idea that this also links to this idea that sex and gender are entirely separate. That's a fairly new idea that still faces quite a bit of ridicule, I think, rightfully, in my opinion. But the idea is growing. It's becoming more and more common. So that's something in which the Overton window seems to be shifting on.
Okay.
Yeah. And that's how it happens. Which is why I was going to say, fine, guys, if we're going to go and let's use this concept, let's run with it. Let's take the concept and run with it. And go with this.
Oh, boy.
Window mode, boys.
So where do we want to start? Do we want to start with microtransactions, Hydra?
Feel free. I have a little bit to say about everything. I am the most informed inside.
What about
the gaming
gotcha
stuff.
games? Like there, I have recently found some people who are avid, like they play several gotchas a week, if not each day.
Oh wow! Okay.
And yeah.
Wow.
And yeah, at least a week, if not each day. And so I
feel very sorry for them.
Hey, Finch.
Oh my gosh, cynical.
Yeah.
But they mostly are free. They are mostly free to play. It doesn't that's what they said.
Free to play, but not
mostly free to play.
Claw Machine is Claw Machine is gambling. Oh my gosh, Gordon was on a roll the one time. He gave like 10 plushies. Oh, it's the best day ever.
No, what he's saying is Claw Machine is greater
one.
Than gambling.
It's better.
Yeah, it's so much better. Yeah, but there's honest machines and then there's fake ones. I hate the fake ones.
Yeah, the ones that it's just like, oh no, wow. Anyway, like it definitely has no. It needs to do some sort of grip exercises. Okay, so yeah, do we want to diagram an Overton window for gaming, or do we want to talk about it?
I am ready and able, whichever you wish to.
So, what would be the spectrum? Because with the Overton window, we have.
I've got one.
Yeah.
Could we perhaps talk about the shift between games versus stories with just like a little bit of gameplay? Like The Last of Us is nigh on a movie rather than a game, as opposed to something like Mario. And there was a trend, I think, in the late 2000s that started that really started to focus more on storytelling and cutscenes and things like that, and away from in-depth gameplay mechanics. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I see what you mean. I looking back immediately. Yeah, there are loads of games that jumps to mind that are more so cinematic experiences more than.
Or we could talk about the rise of indie games, which I would argue coincides with this focus from the big companies on the storytelling more so than the gaming.
Yeah, the rise of indie games, the second rise, because the whole of gaming started out as a rise of indie games, people making games in their garages, like Doom, for example, from which every modern shooter is descended. And then it went full circle. Now, once again, some of the biggest, most influential titles are made by tiny people who make stuff in the garage somewhere. I think the reason why...
Like Stardew Valley.
Like Minecraft.
Yeah, and like a bunch of other titles that were made thanks to... This is not some brand new reawakening of creativity that wasn't there in people before. It's just, it's never been this easy to make a video game. Like, we have all the available software, all online, all of the courses that you need to learn it and everything. And now we have reached a point where all of those tools can be easier and more profitable and even less of a hassle than the massive bumbling AAA studios with thousands of people with way too many cooks in the kitchen trying to get yet another title of some sequel or some remake to make sure that they don't lose profit, because they invested so much money that they need a surefire win, and even then they fail. Like, the reason why the Overton window seemingly drastically shifted this much is because the AAA companies just got too big compared to what they were doing. You don't need like 7+ years of development time and 6,000 devs for a Diablo game and like $500,000 in funding or close. Like, it's not or $500,000. You know what I'm talking about?
Loaded, isn't it?
Yeah, a lot more. But and still, like, you to get done nothing. Why? Because when somebody asks, "Hey, can I make an AI system for this enemy?" instead of just, let's see how it works. Is it fun to play around with? Can it interact with the rest of our code? What could we put on it? What about the rest of the scripts? What could we build upon it in the future? Do we have a boss where instead of all of this creativity, we have to ask the manager's great aunt and grandfather about it, and then we have to schedule a meeting about it, and and so it goes on, which is why actually a meaningful gameplay update and difference in a big title is going to take forever, whereas opposed to some tiny developer like a Lethal Company is going to make it in a single day, because it's just one dude who goes into the code and says, maybe it's more fun if it's this way. And that's it.
Yeah. I noticed that, so where's the Overton window in this? So what was moved to be acceptable here?
What was moved to be acceptable is for AAA, is for indie developer and indie games to be considered of higher quality, or of more entertaining, or more fun, or to be more prosperous, or having the spotlight, so to speak, as opposed to AAA.
Yes, Kitty.
What about the Overton within the Overton window within those huge companies?
That itself
is
also shifted. And yeah, because have you noticed that the AAA companies very rarely do new titles, and whenever they do, despite the enormous man hours and money that they pour into it, they still immediately flop? This only reinforces the shift that we have to do the old thing, the remake or the sequel, otherwise we are not going to make our money back. that is part of the Overton shift as well, that there is this strange movement that you will not find really new and creative ideas in AAA games, more so in indie games. And then I'm not even going to touch upon the legal aspect, because there are now attempts to claim certain game mechanics as belonging to certain studios, and then you get fucked if someone else uses that. And there is, I don't even want to go into that, but there are some crazy lawsuits out there where people made up copyright after the fact and retroactively claim shit like the reveal tower mechanic on maps or something. Like it's bonkers. But essentially, there is an Overton window shift within the AAA companies as to what we can make and what people want, and also a shift as in where people go for fun games, where as opposed to, I'm going to buy the new of the whatever series that came out, or I want something new and interesting that had never been tried before.
I mean, definitely like where like games, so like Steam has now basically taken over the entire market, and it definitely has changed how the view on games and consoles and everything has become. PC gaming was originally not really much of a thing. It was for some things, for mostly RPGs or things. There were no action games pretty much on PC until we could get a little better stuff, and then it started coming in as a real competitor, and that changed a bit of the market on what could be seen as feasible as a full AAA purchase.
Mm-hmm.
So we've identified many windows all over the place here. Let's take a snapshot of one of them. Let's look at one of them. Which
I think the easiest one to bring up would be like how people pay for games. That would be different.
We'll do that next. But Finch has said here that Concord, so taking 400 million and then selling worse than the worst in less than the worst indie game ever made equals Overton window smash. So what is the Overton window that is smashed there? The expectation or the acceptability that you've spent so much money on this.
It's the expectation that you're a AAA studio with a history of grand, large-scale projects and loads of success. And those grand, large-scale projects and loads of success were given, like they were produced of relatively small amount of resources. Now we're going to give you a fuck ton. You're going to get more money than ever before. You're going to get more time than ever before. You're going to get a larger and more experienced team than ever before to make your next title. What the fuck happened? Like, and by the way, that 400 million, that figure, I've seen reputable sources claim that that's wrong, that it's even higher. That it may be as high as 600 million. Now, not confirmed, but the people who have said this are generally correct when it comes to games and figures and how much they cost. So I'm going to take their words on this one. But the Overton window in this case would be the expectation from both those that invested and those that are looking forward to the product. As in, well, previously you did so much better with less money, less people, and less time. What happened here? You know, why is it suddenly too much? And
so
we could
is it misreading?
But it's a form of prediction that to say that, well, we're going to invest more into your business because it's going so well. It's been so successful in the past. Why is it not more successful when I give you more stuff to work with? Mm-hmm. Because some people up there with the corporate mindset, especially with COVID, when studios way overhired because they thought that because they looked at the increased demands of games because of COVID.
They thought that was going to be the new standard.
Yeah, and thought that was going to be the new deal, and then it wasn't. And then a bunch of people had to be laid off. Even then, they had this mentality of corporate investment, of like teams working on products as if it was something else. But it's not the same because of the cooks in the kitchen thing. Like when there are so many things interacting with each other, like in a proper good video game, a high quality AAA title, you're going to have to be able to respond faster to, I need a new AI for this enemy, and that shouldn't take 3 fucking weeks. You know, that it's just having money and people and time is not clearly what determines the quality of a game. But there are investors, the people who own these companies, who pay for these games, who decide the next title. Those are the same guys who would mock and laugh you for playing video games like a couple of decades ago. Like, the people who are in charge and controlling these are either marketing people, so they end up running the company even though they don't understand what brought the company into this monopolistic position in the first place, because the people who actually designed the product have been driven out, or they are people who fundamentally don't understand the difference between a creative industry and like an engineering industry or a telecommunications company. They think they can run it the same way. For example, think the difference between commanding an army on a battlefield or administering a nation. Just because someone is a good general, even if he's a heroic general who has won wars in the past, doesn't mean he will make a good leader. Administering a nation in the same manner as an army is disastrous.
Well, it's kind of funny though, because
that's like our best presidents, though.
Well, I've got a very recent example of a failure, and I really want to dissect why. If everyone's open to it, Lego Horizon Adventures.
Oh, that came out.
It's a week old, and these are the Steam charts for it.
Jeez.
Oh, that's not looking good. First week is important.
Yeah.
Is it supposed to go the other
on
way?
other platforms. It's on.
It's supposed to go up.
It's on. Yeah. I believe it's on Switch and PlayStation, maybe even Xbox.
The flattening waves that are visible
Steam.
in the first week is
yeah.
Let's bring up something for comparison, Kitty, that we can see. Like, I don't know, Elden Ring or some other big release that you can compare it to. That is
Here, I'll stop that.
What about a comparable release? Lego Star Wars 4.
Yeah, or another
Or
Lego
5.
title. That's even better. Yeah, just pick up another Lego title. Put that in next to it.
Lego Star Wars. Well, why don't we just do the Skywalker Saga?
That works.
Steam charts. Okay. Okay.
He likes his egg sandwich Overton easy, just like he likes his women.
Oh, good.
Okay, here we go. Here. Present.
An easy catch. That's how he likes his women.
No, he likes them over a ton.
So
look at the all-time peak.
There's more people playing right now. No, there's more people playing right now than there is the all-time peak.
And the waves aren't flattening. Look at the difference. It's holding a relatively stable thing, especially this far. But look at the release, just so we can have a comparison that is more fair. The going up and down is not that big of a problem. You have to look at trends, because obviously people don't play forever and they play at certain times.
There's that. And then there's, share this tab. And then Lego Horizon, I mean.
Okay, so we're using that as was a lot of money put behind that, and
undoubtedly. It's a really well developed Lego and Horizon, or these it's a crossover, right? So I mean, there's going to be a lot of money changing hands regardless of the production. But the production looks to be like, I've seen some gameplay, and it looks to be really, really well done. So really well polished. So that is going to cost money. So I couldn't imagine.
And the problem is it's going to even further self-reinforce the company into thinking that, see, we made a new thing. There wasn't Lego Horizons of Dawn before. It was a mistake. Nobody bought it. We should have just put out another remaster of something we did 5 years ago.
Well, you know what's funny is that they just remastered the first game for this, which I'm a bit cynical about. I mean, I don't doubt that there were some things that made it worth it, but I think one of the reasons why they wanted to push Horizon Remastered is because one of the things that they changed was the way that Aloy looked. She looks now like she does in the second game instead of the way she originally looked. They changed it.
Oh.
I'll never understand why she doesn't look like more like the actress that played her, by the way.
I know.
No fucking clue. Yeah. It would have been less work too. It's so much expensive work was done to undo that thing.
Okay, next point.
Microtransactions?
No, we've done enough about gaming.
It's the Overton in our Discord. Well, some people have pushed up against it, so it should be easy to find the borders at the very least.
Well, the Overton, in terms of what is acceptable, is to now talk more in the politics channel than there is in any other channel.
It's a more personal favorite right there.
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad that I put those channels out. So that's just, there's been a lot more conversation. We have some people that have joined in that are a lot more down for some political conversation and debate. What the Overton is, though, that's a very good question. Like, are we meaning like what's accepted in the Discord? Right now, seems like political discourse definitely accepted. Yes, Wallace. The Wallace is the border. I give mad props for Wallace for being the most active member of that darn kitty Discord. Yeah, I mean, let's see, because we're not meaning in terms of like what people believe, but what the conversation topics. Because right now, so much election coverage. That's what's
we're talking about.
But in the past it was different. I don't want to really bring it up in its case. It's not fair game, but there was a time when something was being discussed, and Katie, you actually personally stepped in and said, no, this will never be discussed on this Discord. Like that was a pretty big example of just firmly actually marking with a little flag where the window is.
That's another thing.
You know what I mean?
That's what I wanted to bring up is that yes, there are topics that everybody would there would be the group being found acceptable, but actually the people that make the policy are the mods. So the mods are the mods have to pick from all of the things that are available and find the window. They actually define where it is. But then again, if you leave the Discord because you don't like where the mods have put the Overton window, then
it changes.
It changes. Then no, but the thing is, it becomes more acceptable if people. Well, that's the thing. We choose which groups we are going into. So if you're uncomfortable and you move out of a place because of it, it's fine. It's not the same thing. I was going to say it's not the same thing as a country, but if you are uncomfortable in your country, you can leave it. Try and leave it.
So I guess broad strokes, the Overton window would be like racism not okay, prejudice not really okay, spicy discussion is okay, fun meme conversation, gaming conversation definitely okay, being nasty to each other on a regular basis is not okay. Like very broad strokes. But I mean, we can change this. The Discord is not very active, but we got to try and get more people to talk. Then maybe the Overton window might change.
It becomes bigger, I suppose.
Exactly.
But I think I like the way where it is. I think it's big enough. Okay. I'm okay with where it is. I think we've defined it as much as we can. And, but just, again, I was just looking for examples in our, just in the way we see the world. How can we apply this concept of what is acceptable and what isn't? What are the policies? Because policies actually are involved in moderating a Discord. So,
but
then our Discord won't be popular.
That's okay. I wouldn't say it's popular now.
It's alive. That's all I'm happy about.
It is alive.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Wallace, for making it alive. But I think that definitely we've had recent lines be drawn. Like you're not going to tell someone to kill themselves in that channel or in that Discord. Not cool.
Or preferably
acceptable.
not talk about unaliving oneself.
Yeah.
Maybe.
But
that.
But that's pretty much like the most recent line. Other than that, most conversation has occurred and has been seen as pretty acceptable because people haven't been insulting each other. I mean, I've been watching one person that gets involved in arguments, and they aren't arguments. It's just insults contests. I'm not talking about you, Wallace, by the way. I'm talking about someone else. And I don't know what to think about it, but so far it's pretty acceptable. So, I mean, I don't really know I don't know if it works to put an Overton window on this. I think we would need more people talking.
Our Discord is not nearly as busy or degenerate as a bunch of other ones, so the Overton window is not as visible. I don't know. I'm personally grateful, but you could have a different opinion.
No, it isn't. Yeah, it isn't visible because we don't have enough people to have different blocks that need to be policed. That makes it just go, think of a freaking government. If you're trying to figure out what your Overton window is for a group of people that is fine out here, that we just know exactly we're good, looking at how complex it is in politics, yeah, it's a useful concept, but it's by no means is it going to. It's more a tool of observation. It's very difficult to manipulate it and know exactly where it's going to be going, which is my main takeaway from the discussion of the Overton window. Is it's very interesting, but it's so complex. It's based on things that are processes that are so complex that yes, you can try to influence it, but you never know actually how it's going to go.
And yeah, it's not even necessarily about what's good or bad. It's just about what is culturally acceptable at the time, which changes very often.
What works, what doesn't, as well. You can have some fascism that works really well, and that's
it's very effective. Yes.
Yeah, it's very effective. All of it is acceptable. Oh wait, actually, before I was going to ask you guys to
depends
conclude.
only on your goal, what you want to do. That's what effectiveness depends on.
I want to be able to tell you to shut up, so then you do shut up.
I'm
was going to love you, Hydra.
Now I've lost my question.
That's what happens to me all the fucking time, and I can't tell you, you goobers. I have something interesting or insightful to say, and then someone says something funny in chat, or here on
your brain goes,
Jaws does something, and I'm just, or I just see you laughing badly at something different, Kitty, and my mind goes blank, and I'm like, fuck, what was I trying to say?
That happens when people get old.
It happens when there's more than one person.
God damn it, I am not old at all, so I don't do that yet because I'm scared what happens when I actually get old. If this gets
That's what old people say. That's what old people say.
Survey says you're old.
Right. So, speaking of which, I need to.
We're talking about witches.
No, I would like the panelists to say anything about the Overton window before we get into Gartic phone.
Okay.
I think we've done everything. Yeah.
One last thing. I think the most effective, I briefly touched on this, but I wanted to talk about this more, is that the most effective way that I've seen recently in mass scale manipulating the Overton window was with bot networks on comment sections.
Oh, that's the question I was going to ask.
See, there we go. I'm coming in for the win. Another classic Hydra W. Anyway, the most effective manners of manipulating the Overton window is by convincing the people who are part of the Overton window that the window has already moved. And so they will, even if themselves, they will not adopt new positions because of this, but the social pressures are so immersed that they will, rather than risk, being not part of the horde and kicked out or not receiving this or that benefit or having conflict in this or that relationship with individuals or government or whatever, we rather pretend, or at the very least, not even interact, whereas previously we would have interacted with opinions that are now considered apparently off the table. A good example for this that I'd like to bring up is the Ukraine war. At the beginning, there was a universal outrage, like shut the fuck up, very similarly, like get out of this country, whatever, very similarly to what happened with the Kuwait invasion. When Iraq invaded, almost everyone in the world was like, hello, get out of here, dude. And now, 3 years later, after the conflict has gone on, if you go to go to internet forums, it's not the case with physical forums yet. If you go to internet forums, now you can see spammed replies, bots after bots after bots, just having the most unhinged opinions about Ukraine or Israel or Taiwan, etc., and continuously just talking about, oh, we should just let them do this because Russia has nukes, or, oh, we actually need to utterly destroy this country for that reason or this reason. And I've seen and personally know about plenty of people who whose interaction with the Overton window because of this changed, because now it convinced people that there was a genuine shift and that there are now that the majority of people now have the belief that, we should never intervene with anything and we should just let this nation be destroyed because, there are more important things, or because of principle this or principle that, and that people are genuinely convinced that something has dramatically changed since those 3 years. When it's
we lost money.
With what?
We lost money, all kinds of money. Money's going away. The economy's bad. It's not really about whether or not it's right or wrong. It's about whether we have enough money to sustain a war that isn't on our shores and doesn't involve our people.
You make money off of the Ukraine war.
A lot of people that are giving money don't make that money. It's the industries that are making money, not the American people. The American people are paying for the money that goes to the industry.
No, the American people are saving money off of the Ukraine war as well.
Not me. It doesn't bring any money into my pocket. Not the people.
Well,
that are
no more
taxes.
than it takes. Well, you are not going to see it show up as in, oh, this is because of the Ukraine war, but just like how you wouldn't see it show up as, oh, this is a piece of your money that went to Ukraine. But just to give you an example, the absolute trash, garbage, ancient weapons that are being shipped to Ukraine, for example, from the pre-Desert Storm even era Abrams, those weapons would have costed
There's
far
nothing
more
wrong with
to
muskets.
you, and they would have cost more to you to simply remain in the US than to be sent to Ukraine. And this way, the average American taxpayer has to spend less money on the otherwise your insanely over-bloated arms industry.
You can save money by not spending it.
Guns are cool.
I understand guns are cool. You can have them all you want, but the mere fact that you have tanks and missiles and insanely outdated ammunition that, for example, the A-10 Warthog and the depleted uranium rounds for that, where people
Biden
begging the government.
All of
the Warthog.
All of the money that's going over there to the Ukraine is supposed to be paid back.
It's not going money. Dude.
However, no.
Stacks
Listen
of
to what I'm
cash are
saying.
not
Listen
being dumped on
to
the
what I'm
country.
saying. Listen to what I'm saying here. Biden just forgave $4.65 billion that was sent to Ukraine in aid. So that's money we're not getting back.
That's not money being sent. That's the whole
Why
problem.
is it being sent? Why is
It's
the
not
aid being
money.
given?
It's that
Why
much
is the
worth
aid
of
being given,
equipment.
though? It's being given to the war. Okay, so it's the war
It's being
effort.
given so people can
And it's
defend
still money
themselves.
coming from the United States
It's
and the
not money
taxpayers.
coming. If I give you a laptop that was once worth $3,000, now after 10 years of war, did I give you $3,000? No, I gave you equipment that once upon a time was worth $3,000. But if a journalist is going to write about it, they're going to put $3,000 worth of aid given from Hydra to Rosales Comics because they want the big number and it looks cool, but it's not. In fact, me just keeping the $3,000 laptop would have cost me and the people that live around me more than just giving it away to someone who can take more use out of it. This is the case with the Ukraine war.
Are you saying that the United States government is grifting and being untrustworthy with money?
Grifting in what way?
Well, in whatever way you're explaining here. You're saying we're not sending money, but you're saying things
no, I'm
are
saying
worth money, and
stacks
that
of
the government
cash
is
not
saying
being
that it's
dropped
money.
on Ukraine. You're sending equipment that was once upon a time worth.
We used to just send peanut butter packets and crackers.
And because those are army rations, yes.
Are you would you prefer it be turned into value instead of money?
Cynical Finch, no, the money doesn't go to arm manufacturers. Please, this talking point has been debunked so many times.
Well, answer my question here. It's like regardless of what's with the chat right now. Would you prefer it to just be changed to value rather than money being sent?
Value of equipment.
Because you're talking about
they actually listed off, because I always have to hunt looking for where that $3 billion, what does it mean? Oh, it means 30 tanks, 10 helicopters, etc. If they just wrote that down, but they can't because they call a fucking anti-air self-propelled gun a tank because it's the fucking media and they don't know what they're talking about. That's why. They called the Gepard SPAA, which is something from the 50s, by the way, a brand new high-tech German tank. What the actual fuck are these people talking about? Of course. And the money doesn't go to arms manufacturers because the arms have already been made. They have been sitting in warehouses or been used up since the 70s, and just maintaining them or safely getting rid of them, like the missiles that go back or the depleted uranium or the tanks that need to be thrown into the ocean, which would cause billions more in spending than giving it away to someone and standing up for your ideas in the process. You are making money by the average American taxpayer having to spend less on your overbloated arms industry and simultaneously standing up for your principles, which you wouldn't have needed if you just kept the Visegrad Accords that you signed, where you promised that you will absolutely intervene with ground forces if Russia ever invades Ukraine, and then you decided not to. But all of this doesn't matter because this arms program of basically giving away the food that wasn't eaten during the day in a restaurant to the homeless man is already something, and you're making even more money off of NATO, by the way, and that is what ends up saving the American taxpayer and the American economy loads of money, which you need in the middle of a financial crisis like this, basically.
I've lost the plot on where we're at here. So what are we having a conversation
the plot
about?
is that
helping Ukraine is actually saving America money, is what you're saying.
In the arms department specifically, loads of money is being saved because of the whole we're gonna give away old weapons. Yes.
Okay. Interesting.
A shitload of money that you need right now.
I disagree, but that's okay. We can agree to disagree.
Well, the problem is that the loads of military experts agree with me on this. So
okay.
I tend to
lots of experts agree with lots of people. So it's okay if we disagree.
That's fine.
All right. Time for Gardic phone. All right.
I literally have 10 minutes left. Holy fuck, wait a second. I just looked at the clock.
And you spent 15 of that arguing about Ukraine.
No, just them. I'm sorry. I just hear the talking point and I immediately go off because I have to live in a place when I hammered 24/7 with the same talking point about how the West sent this much money to the war, fuck the West, etc. all the time. They are warmongers, all evil, and they're coming to trans your children and take them to the
5 minutes remaining for Hydra. 5 minutes remaining.
Exactly. And this and
all right,
I just hear it once more and I fucking pop off and I'm like, I had enough of this bullshit. I have enough of this talking point that is not true in the slightest. God damn it.
So I put it in the private chat, and then I will put it in the Discord and the chat as well.
I need to get my iPad.
Question for you, Kitty.
Mm-hmm.
When did you change your profile picture? Like, what prompted that?
I'll explain this now. Just need to get my iPad.
Oh, okay. So we still need a gray and a foxtrot.
So with my profile picture, it's because because I've changed to iPad. I've changed to iPhone, and we were looking for profile pictures, me and my husband, and he got that one, and it's an old picture. It is from 5 years ago, so he put that one on as like part of our family, and he's like, I like that picture, and like my husband says he likes something, I get very excited.
Oh, okay. So Gordon,
it's an old picture, but it checks out.
I would like to quickly apologize for once again getting to Ukraine, but I felt it was important that I talk about how easy it is to shift seemingly, not necessarily successfully, but shift the Overton window with just flooding areas with fake people who say certain things. Apologies that I once again brought the conversation to Ukraine. I didn't intend to.
That's fine.
It's okay. It was an example.
Also, I
the Overton window has changed.
I don't have time for this. I can't Gartic phone because it takes more than 2 minutes.
Dang, man. You've used up all your time to argue.
Yes, I did. Because I wasn't looking at the clock. I'm sorry, guys. I have to go literally right now.
Okay. Well,
see you
have a good one, Hydra. I'll see you next Thursday.
Bye.
Thank you. See you.
Do you have anything to plug?
Bye, Hydra. Love you.
Do I have anything to what?
Plug. Are we going to do anything on the Discord?
Maybe sometimes I put up Discord events, and if you want to take a peek, and I'll be there. Usually I'm making games or playing games, so be sure to check it out. See you.
Yes, sir. All right, so we've got the Ducks playing. We've got some people in here, but I know that there's more people that can play. Come on, guys. I'll put the link in the chat again.
A real YouTuber. Bush, you totally need to get into the Gartic phone. Yeah.
Join the Gartic phone. Or else. I don't know what the else is, but or else. And speaking of the Discord, I'm going to start doing more events and things that will not be things that aren't just events for the sake of it. Things like competitions, things like that. I want to get people more engaged. So this will be in a couple months when things will start rolling out. But yeah, that's the goal. It's to start putting some events together where in the new year. In the new year.
Sweet.
Don't know what it'll be specifically about, but I want there to be prizes for such said events. We've got concepts of plans, okay?
We've got concepts of plans. Hey, listen, these people have arrived at my channel somehow. They understand what concepts of plans are. Oh yeah, totally. She's totally gonna make.
I want to do more art competitions. I want to do some discussions and stuff like that. I want to be able to make it so that there's more engagement in the Discord.
Should I donate to prizes? Absolutely, Rosales.
That's definitely something.
Guys, I'll make a crochet crown for you, for the winner.
Ooh, there we go.
You still
Okay.
owe us the crochet of that that Star Wars kitty. That
Do
white
I?
one.
The white
Yeah,
one.
you promised it.
I promised. I've got my guitar. I've got so many. You have a list of my promises.
Yeah,
So,
I do actually.
Gray, where are you
I
at?
lost connection with the server.
Yeah, it's a good question. It won't let me in. I don't know, man. I've tried reopening it like 4 times. It's just spinning. I don't know.
I will.
Have you tried turning off and turning on your computer?
Mhm.
Yeah, it's getting frustrated.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know why, but is anyone else having connection issues with the
Not so
Gardic
far.
phone?
Do you want to do it? Yeah.
I can't connect.
You can't.
Okay, so it's not just me. What in the hell?
So
Okay.
it could be a
Should I
Gothic
start a new room?
outage.
I got a feeling it's garlic itself. It's not the
Yeah.
room, but could be wrong.
Okay, so we're gonna do it with who we got now.
Yeah.
And I'm
Patrick,
sorry,
you
Dan.
are there. I see you, Big Daddy Patty. I see you.
Alrighty. Then I guess we'll get started unless we want to wait for Dorkus. He's got an internet issue. He said he'll be right back.
Oh.
Well, you can do more than one round, right? So
Yeah.
Let's
But
go.
just-
Let's get going. Yeah.
Alrighty. Then we're gonna get started. Bing bong, bing boing. All right. So, there we go. But I like the profile picture. I didn't know it was an old one though. I think it's a funny expression.
Thanks. I don't know what they were. It was. I did a charity stream. We did a stream for 24 hours. And
What the hell is this from?
It
Oh.
was just outside the window.
Oh man, I missed it. Am I back? Hello?
You are back?
No,
Yeah.
we're
You have to wait
spectating,
until,
sir. We
Hmm.
got next round if it'll let us in. But you can
And,
judge BMO like the rest of the audience.
hmm
Yeah, like what
Yeah,
the
it's a
hell
poor
is the
choice.
prompt?
You know what the prompt is.
Yeah, I know what the prompt is. I'm like, what the fuck is this?
Just wondering if you're showing yourself from behind. I don't quite get it.
Working on it.
Okay.
Nope.
Hello?
We can hear you.
Hello.
I'm so confused.
Hello.
I don't know why my Wi-Fi is acting up.
I don't think it's
Well, I don't
your
know if it
Wi-Fi.
is. Yeah.
I think it's garlic servers because Foxru and I also can't get into it. Mine's just been spinning forever, and I can load anything else. So I don't. I think it's garlic.
Mm.
Okay.
What are you making noises for?
Because it keeps coloring where it's not supposed to color.
That is a
so
valid
you're supposed to
reason.
make noises when you.
Yeah.
I tend
Sure.
not to, which is what made streaming so hard.
We need to have.
Okay.
Andrew.
Yeah, I'm living it here.
Uh-huh.
All right, you've only got like 5 seconds. BMO, make it read.
I can read. I can see what's going on here. I just can't tell it's me.
Yeah, okay.
Agree to disagree.
Okay, so this has to be.
What?
Yeah, I know what that one is.
Yeah, this is the Rosales one. And I
And
know
it's
exactly.
a masterpiece.
Oh yeah.
Quite good indeed.
Oh, okay. And I don't know.
Do I have it? No.
I think.
I'm just leaving it there. Where? What?
I love this. Oopsie. I feel like there was a repeated prompt.
It's about a quarter of your time.
I miss Charles.
Yeah.
Does he having a whole wife?
There's
And a
rumors
life?
he might have been here today, but it didn't turn out that way. He had time to release a short this morning, though. And that's about half your time.
Yeah, yes. Apparently it is pretty cold. It's getting pretty cold in the UK.
It's only like 0 degrees. That's not that cold.
This is cold for us.
So Andrew, what have you been up to?
Working. Also, more recently, Stellar Blade came out with a big update and a DLC.
Nice.
Was it good?
Let's see with that.
What was it good? Yes. Now I'm not extremely frugal, but I am somewhat frugal. So what, is it worth the $10 that I paid for the DLC? Perhaps not, because
Really?
Wow.
it is a what do you call it? It is essentially a skin pack that is masquerading as DLC.
Really?
Mm.
Speaking of skin
$10,
packs,
okay.
BMO, you got time left.
Barely any time.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I love this. This is great.
So, what I mean by that is, what do you do it? You pay the $10, and then you go on a scavenger hunt for items that unlock the skins, and then once you get all the scavenger items, everything but the skin is removed from the game.
Oh.
Now, the skins are pretty awesome, but that's all. You have outfits, you have hair,
They do look
you have
pretty
outfits, you
fantastic.
have hairstyles, you have the since it's near Automata, you have the blindfold, but the battle goggles as they call it. And Eve does behave differently when she is wearing those skins.
That's good.
But that's about it.
But yeah, like I said, it's a skin pack, and I really like the skins. But like, is it really worth $10? I'm on the fence about it.
I remember wasting. Sorry, continue.
No, go ahead.
I remember wasting way too much money on League of Legends skins.
Yes.
So yeah,
I'm guilty.
What is the Overton
going
window?
through my head
of price?
is
Mhm.
one of the thoughts going through my head is like that car example about, well, am I looking at it from the car window or the plane or boat window? Because you've got like the $500 skin pack from League of Legends, right? And this is only $10, and I'm pretty sure you get way more from this than you do from that, but I don't know.
$10 is nothing for a pack of skins, I would say.
I'd say that's too much for a pack of skins.
Like,
See,
considering
I'm on the fence.
I'm used to
what I've
Monster, I'm used to
what
Monster
I've
Hunter.
paid. No, but yeah, but I paid in Monster Hunter for accessories. $10. Yeah, okay. You know what? For one purchase, no.
League
For
of
one
Legends
purchase.
is free, by the way. It's just
Now-
you spend money on it
Mhm.
anyway. Alrighty. Voiceover.
What is it? The Stellar Blade did come out with a big update with a bunch of outfits for Eve, and also photo mode, and then
Nice.
bugs fixes.
That
some
is a game for
quality of
photo mode.
life. Yeah, it's actually
Alright.
kind of amazing it didn't launch with it. Everyone was baffled. It was like
Are we?
there were even certain levels where it's like almost tailor made for photo mode, and then there wasn't any until
Gotcha.
just this week.
I'm gonna play the prompt here.
Patrick's Overton woman.
Gee, I wonder. Yep, that's about right.
Pat
There we
loves
go.
fat girls.
Perfect. There we go.
Wow.
Hugging an obese princess?
Yes, hugging.
Nice, darling. That's exactly it.
Oh yeah, it's perfect.
Oh,
I love it.
call that a hug? Oh.
I mean, it kind of translated through there.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Hydra was wrong about war.
Okay.
Oh, I see where this goes.
Vampire asks where Todd is.
That's what that was.
Vampire wants to hear your podcast.
Perfect.
That is an awesome Bram
Yeah.
Stoker Dracula. I love it.
I love it very much. Good old darling with the way that he colors. Okay.
BMO watching children through window.
You're the one.
Porn pong.
What?
Uh-oh.
See? Does it read? Email?
That's fantastic.
Man and woman do censored things with ping pong.
Wow.
That is so awful. So awful.
That is so awful. Yes.
I am disgusted. Disgusted. Presses the save button.
Download.
Vampire tries to enter the Overton window.
I knew it.
Oh, but he's not invited.
Let me in.
Hydra the vampire requesting to be let into the Overton.
Oh.
The red eyes.
Ah, so cute.
Hydra won't let spooks in his house.
Wow.
Wow.
From the feds.
Yes.
I guess
that's
if they were
true.
undercover, they'd be spooks.
I guess so.
Sammy plays basketball with Hydra.
Oh no. So that's
Also,
what that originally was.
Darling,
Okay.
darling probably meant sport.
That's also
Sammy Snail
baseball.
plays ball with Hydra.
Oh, I misread this one.
Sammy the snail throws a baseball at Hydra.
He just throws it.
I love
It's a
it.
big ball.
I took this one as like there's blood on the end here. It's just like he's getting beat down.
Oh wow, Nosferatu remake.
I
is
like
out
a
next
fat
month.
girl.
Yeah, on Christmas Day. Good times.
Oh,
Patrick
likes
loves
fat girls.
Blueberry Woman.
Oh yeah, let's go, Patrick.
Hallmark's a blueberry romance.
Oh.
That's as far as I could go on that one. All right, Dorkus, is your connection in there?
Yay.
It looks like Kitty's out of that too.
Wait, is it? Let me just see, because maybe it was just
It
my.
looks like it kicked you out.
Did it kick me out? Hold on, it's reconnecting. Wait.
Oh, you're back.
Yeah.
I'm in and waiting for new turn.
I do see that. Okay, sweet, we're back.
Gray.
If anyone else
It
wants to
still
try and
hasn't let me
join,
in. I've tried like 4 times, but no. But
You're not
Blueberry
trying hard
Lizzo
enough.
equals Blizzo.
Here you go.
I'm dropping the link one more time. Let's give it a little bit.
No, that was fun. Patrick, you stay in and you play now.
We got one more. We got one more in us.
Yeah.
Alrighty, I'm giving everyone 10 more seconds before I press the start button. 5, 4, 3, 2. All right, let's go back to normal mode. Alrighty.
Yay.
That one's personal.
Ow.
No.
Ow.
Yeah, I just hurt my blister. I had a blister on my foot today. No, I just hurt myself.
Whenever I get blisters, I just cut them open and then put a band-aid on it.
Yeah. I should have just left.
Oh
Well, I have
my.
some really crappy band-aids.
Thinking of
Oh gosh, how do you do this? Hmm.
To answer Finch's question on what is an exquisite corpse game, it's awesome. A person is broken up into 3 sections: a head, a torso, and the lower third. Yeah, you just kind of swap. You draw a head or a torso or legs that go up to the line, and then it magically puts them all together, and you end up with some exquisite piece of art that at least 3 people worked on. It's fun, but it takes way too long.
True.
Axel, baby boy.
That's about half your time. You should hurry up, BMO. What the hell?
Ooh.
Oh gosh, I've wasted too much time.
Ow! Sorry. Ah, you shitface. Oh, you asshole. Big. Axel?
This is an abomination.
That's what my mama said.
Oh my god. Awful.
Didn't finish. Oh gosh.
Oh my gosh, what is this?
I know what this is.
Are you sure about that, BMO? You got half your time left, but does that look like the person you put on there?
I mean, it could be. Who else has a tongue
You
like
don't
that?
see any
Everyone's
familiar.
a critic.
You're not noticing anything that it's very reminiscent of. Okay, fine.
Yeah, I'm gonna leave it.
Axel.
What is? Mm-mm.
That's a quarter of your time.
And we don't have any folks who are going,
About a third of your time remains, so finish up those final details.
Oh wow, that was fun. I hope everybody gets it.
There we go. That's good enough.
God damn it, it's freezing.
You can tell I haven't drawn it all today so far because, man, it's rusty. I love this so much.
This is
I know
a repeat.
exactly what this is a reference of.
I'm keeping that. Oh, I wanted that.
And you have about a third of your time remaining.
I don't know what that is. Okay. Okay.
That's about a quarter of your time.
I hate this. This is the worst one.
That's about half your time.
Okay. I think. Ooh. Ooh.
About a quarter of your time remains.
Okay. If that's the case. Oh, don't ring at me.
I can't do darling painting. Oh my gosh. Yep, this is just how we're doing it now. I guess this is not a pizza. It's not.
Woo! Just go.
No!
I tried so hard. Oh, this again?
Again?
People just want to make the joke.
Mine was so much more wholesome.
Oh, wait. No! Predicts it ticks.
Let's see.
There we go. Yes.
Alrighty.
Hey, Zax.
Hey,
Feeding the
Zach.
ducks, feeding the ducks. Yeah, we feed the ducks when we are doing the drawing.
All right.
Darling, making BMO look perverted.
Which is not hard.
Oh.
Hey.
Anti-porn protester breaks flag.
Awesome.
No!
Hey, Patrick, you lazy bum.
Darling, drawing BMO smut.
Oh, I did not see
BMO
smut.
drew darling drawing BMO.
Just drawing. Oh, there you go.
But that's me. That's not me though. I do not look like that. I just
Bemo drew Bemo. Just about downloads.
Yes. Disgusting.
Sammy the snail eats pineapple pizza with ham.
Delicious.
Hydra spitting on pizza.
Oh, Jesus.
That's
the
so good.
pineapple still
Hydra
happens.
afraid of pineapple pizza.
Nice pizza.
Hydra is scared of pineapple pizza.
Hey.
You
I
got
mean,
the
it's
right-
translated apparently.
the fear was there. Bemo got it.
BMO flirting at church.
Yeah.
A second BMO.
BMO picking up
BMO.
met church.
Be met. Be met.
That's exactly
You're
what I was
pretty.
going for.
BMO hits on a girl at church during sermon.
It has happened before.
And you just said you're pretty.
Yeah, that's how you hit
yeah.
on him. I don't just hey, you're pretty.
Of course I let people know they're pretty. If they're pretty, they're pretty. Pretty good looking.
Gray, you're very pretty.
Picking up chicks at the family
Well,
reunion.
thank you.
Oh.
Of course.
This was you.
BMO hits on a girl at church.
It
Yeah,
immediately
I
went to
decided
church.
it's
Okay.
church. Yeah, I decided it's church.
Ow.
Hey there, touch.
Jeez. Hey, I love that, darling.
Oh,
BMO
Darling's is
flirts
awesome.
at church.
Yeah, that
is
looks
that a
about right.
grandma though? Like, what's with the hair?
Yeah.
That's what I thought.
You know,
Looks
she
like a
covers her
Hindi
hair.
dude.
She could be.
She could
Either
she
way.
just covers her hair because it's church. That's a thing. It's a nun.
I mean, BMO still looks down.
I guess so, yeah. Why did I draw myself? Because it would be funny. That's why.
Cat driving a car.
That's what that was. Okay.
Oh, that's so good.
That's awesome.
So good.
There's Rosales.
Patrick being a lazy bum again. Oh, hey, Benjamin.
Morning, Benjamin. Oh, darling, that's so
Actually
cute.
driving in a very ugly red convertible.
Very ugly.
That's what it was. Okay.
Driving down the highway thinking about Among Us.
That's what I thought the thing in the upper corner was.
To be clear, the drawing wasn't ugly. Just
The car.
The car.
Both could be true.
I wish Trump was my dad.
You'd be rich.
Person wants Trump's approval.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
I
Babe,
love it.
please meme, but it's Donald Trump.
Donald Trump. That's so good.
The Emma trying to pick up chicks at church.
What?
Perfect.
You think I suffer rejection?
That works.
I mean, why would church be any different?
We're traditional girls.
The MO plots wacky vengeance against Grey.
Vengeance?
What?
That's me? That's me?
Well, that's what I was trying to tell you. I was like,
Conspiracy board.
so I don't see how that's Hydra. Maybe.
I saw the tongue. That's why.
Yeah, but do you see the hair?
No, not really.
You see the lack
Hydra
of
looking
nose.
at conspiracy board.
There is a lack of nose, yes.
Well, I'm glad that Rosales got what I was trying to
Hydra making conspiracies of the war.
This did not go the way I thought it would.
Was it not wholesome enough?
I was waiting for the very last one being BMO tries to pick up girls at church because that was just so consistent through this whole. Oh man, do we have time for more?
No, we have time to say goodnight, everybody.
Okay.
That's
Thank you for playing, everyone.
yeah. And this is where we say, where are the thinkers elsewhere? Where can you find them? What are they doing elsewhere?
I am here. And
Right now.
very rarely right now.
He's here. He's queer. Get used to it.
Okay. Great. What's up?
Yeah, so the very rare elusive video will actually be dropping tomorrow. So yeah,
Nice.
there will be content eventually. But yeah, if you just can't get enough after that, since Rosales is taking off after dark and the Super Sunday wrap up, the next time you can catch me on the internet is actually during show business. So Sunday night on Charles's channel, YouTube at Willis Greedia. If you want to watch Charles truly deep dive into the box office, what hit, what didn't. This next weekend we have Wicked versus Gladiator 2, and we had some over/under bets. They're estimated at Wicked is 111 million and Gladiator is 70 million. So come over, see who got the bet correct and who didn't, and who knows, Charles may or may not be there. We might ruin his channel. So come on over, check it out. Sunday nights on YouTube at Willis Greedia.
And mates are running
That's
the
about all I got
asylum
going
over at Willis Greedia.
Oh yeah. BMO, sir, what do you have going on your side of the internet?
So I've had this wonderful experience of learning how editing software does not work. I'm working on trying to get a video edited with Gray and I playing Phoenix Wright, the Phoenix Wright trilogy. It's right now it's in editing hell because there's some issues with the video. But the goal is to try and get those out, and we'll be getting some more episodes out soon-ish. Yeah, so that just needs to come out so then I can get stuff on my channel for once. Other than that, I am on x.com or Twitter. That was not entertaining. That was awesome. And I am currently open for commissions. So if you are interested in seeing art from me, do not take my drawings from this Gardic phone session as indicative of what I can make. I can make other things, but if you are interested in that and seeing what that would do for you, hit me up either on the Discord or send me a message on Twitter. I do respond. Other than that, yeah, just working on getting that video out.
Results.
Well, as previously mentioned, we are on vacation for a couple of weeks. You can find us back here starting on December. On December 6th, I believe, is when we'll be back. So until then, I'll be working on a book of puns that I had previously mentioned earlier in the year. And we will have puns that are like this, but not like this, because it's meant for kids. But here's
Please
an
call
example.
it Crime and Punishment.
It's called Punbelievable.
Punbelievable is just as good.
Yeah. So here's an example of one that I did not put in there because it wasn't appropriate for kids.
Okay.
I bought a pair of shoes from a drug dealer. I don't know what he laced them with, but I've been tripping all day. So look forward to that, hopefully before the end of the year.
Oh, that's
awesome.
I love that. Sounds like my kind of book. But I would like the adult version to do that.
You.
Dorkus?
Over on the No One Asked You podcast, Ascension Unleashed and Storming the Archives continue apace. Hopefully more stuff soon.
Stay tuned. And I'll see you other people that will be awake when it's morning time for me. I'm going to continue my diagram of whatever the hell happened on Piers Morgan's show.
It was a good time while I was watching it. Go and watch her. Her diagrams are good.
Great.
Ooh.
No, but
You're going to start that at 9 or 10 a.m.?
9:30. So
9:30.
Just between them. Yeah. And I'm going to finish the diagram, and then I'm going to go into editing hell too, BMO, and try and make a video, because I used to do that. Yeah. Okay. That's
I now understand why people hire editors.
It is not fun. Yeah. Thank you for the think, and we will see you next week for Thanksgiving. It might be a shorter think, but it's still going to be there. Have a nice life, and sorry,
Same cat time, same cat channel.
Same thinkers playing. I'm looking for. Hold on.
We have finished thinking for the week.
There we go.